Yes.
Good morning to our esteemed resource persons, principal, and teacher educators. I, Arzina Hamid, will serve as the host for today's online faculty development program titled Orientation on Mapping and Attainment of PO, PSO, and CO for Outcome-Based Education in B.Ed Program. With enthusiasm and anticipation, I extend a warm welcome to each one of you as we embark on this journey of knowledge and growth together. There is a Chinese proverb: learning is a treasure that will follow its owner everywhere. And so is the vision behind this FTP. Before we commence, let us invoke blessings of Lord Almighty. And for this, I invite Ms. Samiksha Nair, FIBA student teacher.
Good morning, everyone. गणनायकाय गणदेवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गणेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि गानचतुराय गानप्राणाय गानान्तरात्मने गानोत्सुकाय गानमत्ताय गानोत्सुकमनसे गुरुपूजिताय गुरुदैवताय गुरुकुलस्थायिने गुरुविक्रमाय गृहीरप्रवराय गुरुवे गुणगुरवे गुरुदैत्यगले क्षेत्रे गुरुधर्म सदाराध्याय गुरुपुत्र परितात्रे गुरुपाखण्ड खण्डकाय गीतसाराय गीततत्त्वाय गीतगोत्राय धीमहि गूढगुल्फाय गन्धमत्ताय गौजयप्रदाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Samiksha. It's my pleasure to now welcome Mrs. Nahida Mandiwala to tell us about Rizvi College of Education and about today's FTP.
Thank you, Ms. Arzina. A very good morning to all. It gives me immense pleasure that Rizvi Education Society's Rizvi College of Education has organized this online FTP. To give a short introduction about Rizvi Education Society, Rizvi Education Society was established in 1985 with the College of Arts, Science and Commerce and Rizvi High School. In more than 39 years, it has spread its wings. Next. And now it has a bouquet of offerings, an entire gamut of education that encompasses KG to PG. Next. This education hub is nestled in the heart of India's financial capital, Mumbai, and it stands tall in the queen of suburbs, Bandra. Besides Mumbai, Rizvi Education Society is also functional in Jaunpur, Karari, and Allahabad. Rizvi College of Education started in 2003 under the aegis of Rizvi Education Society. And in a span of 20 full years, the college has emerged as a premier teacher training institution. It has made remarkable progress in the education fraternity. The college provides dynamic training programs to empower its teachers to meet the challenges in the ever-changing global scenario. The college aims to provide quality education with strong roots like the banyan tree, which enables them to develop stronger wings to conquer the world. This is achieved not only through our academic endeavors, but also through the variety of learning experiences which our student teachers are exposed to. At the helm of the college, we have our Honorable President, Sir, Dr. Akhtar Hassan Rizvi, and our Honorable Director, Madam, Advocate Mrs. Rubina Akhtar Hassan Rizvi. and it is under their guidance that the institution has made remarkable progress. Our Honorable President, sir, is an entrepreneur, educationalist, politician, real estate icon, philanthropist, and a founder of many educational institutions all over India. He's the beacon of light guiding the destiny of students, a charismatic personality, a leader, and a visionary in true spirit. Education imparted by heart can bring revolution in society, which is strongly upheld by our Honorable Director, Advocate Mrs. Rubina Rizvi. She's an advocate and a forensic expert by profession. However, ma'am has been an educationist at heart, and she has been creating ripples of change through action and leadership. It is under their dynamic leadership that the college provides these training programs, and it empowers not only the student but also the teacher to be abreast with the changes in the educational landscape. Under their able mentorship and guidance, the internal quality assurance cell of Rizvi College of Education has organized this FDP. With this, I take this opportunity to welcome everyone to this online faculty development program on orientation on mapping and attainment of POs, PSOs, and COs for outcome-based education in B.Ed Program. It is a pleasure to have you all here today as we embark on a journey to explore the transformative realm of outcome-based education. In the dynamic landscape of education today, we find ourselves amidst a significant change, a transition towards outcome-based approaches that seek to enhance the quality and relevance of education. Traditional methods are giving way to outcome-driven strategies, where the focus is not only on merely what is being taught, but rather on what is being learned. And at the core of this transition lies the fundamental concepts of POs, PSOs, and COs. In today's session, we are going to delve deep into these concepts, understanding their essence and significance in the realm and context of modern-day education. A distinguished resource person will guide us through the intricacies of POs, PSOs, and COs, illuminating their relationship and practical implication in educational setting. OBE is not just a pedagogic approach, it is a philosophy that places students' learning at the forefront. By clearly defining learning objectives and aligning educational processes to achieve them, OBE revolutionizes the way we design, deliver, and assess education. It empowers the educator to create a cohesive and holistic learning experience for students, preparing them to thrive in the complexities of the 21st century. Through this FDP, we at RCOED aim to equip teacher educators like yourselves with knowledge and skills necessary to embrace OBE. By aligning teaching methodologies and assessments with the principles of OED, we strive to enhance the overall learning experiences of all B.Ed students. This, in turn, will enable them to meet the demands of the ever-evolving workforce with confidence and competence. I encourage all of us to actively participate in this session, as it will not only enable us to stay updated with the ongoing reforms, but also help us to align our teaching methodologies and assessments on. Once again, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you, and I hope that with this session, we all will have gained valuable insights on how POs and COs can leverage and enhance the quality and effectiveness of education in our institution. Let me also say that this session is the hard work, mentorship, and guidance of our Honorable Principal, Dr. Spotty Karthik. With this, may I request Dr. Spotty Karthik to kindly give the welcome address.
Thank you, Ms. Nagita. To our distinguished resource persons, principals, teacher educators, and all participants of the workshop, good morning and a very warm welcome. I feel extremely glad to welcome everyone to this orientation session on mapping and attainment POs, PSOs, and COs for the B.Ed program. Before we start with the session, I would like to express my gratitude towards the management of Rizvi Education Society, the Honorable President, Dr. Akhtar Hassan Rizvi, and Honorable Director, Advocate Mrs. Rubina Akhtar Hassan Rizvi, for being the source of motivation in organizing this orientation session. In outcome-based education, where the expected outcomes in the form of knowledge, skills, and attitude is to be measured and aligned with the program goals, it becomes imperative to assess the attainment of these outcomes systematically. This workshop is aimed at orienting teacher educators on mapping program outcomes and course outcomes to enhance alignment and coherence. I would like to warmly welcome our guest speakers who have generously agreed to share their expertise with us. Dr. Dattatraya Parhad is Associate Professor, Department of Mathematics and Vice Principal of Rizvi Art Science and Commerce College. And Mr. Vishwas Deshmukh is Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, Rizvi Art Science and Commerce College. Both of them having extensive experience in the area of assessment of different programs. So let us all take advantage of this opportunity to learn from them. A special mention here of Dr. Maria Gaur, Professor, Department of Sociology, Rizvi Arts and Commerce College, for being a facilitator helping this event happen. A big thank you to the IQAC coordinator of the college, Mrs. Naida Mandiwala, and our organizing committee for putting up this session together and for all the hard work that went into it. We are honored to have such a distinguished group of educators with us today, and I thank each and every one of you for being here with us today. Today's session promises an engaging and enlightening experience for all of us. So welcome all once again, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Spotty Karthik. With her leadership and dedication to education, Dr. Karthik embodies the spirit of our institution. We are honored to have her here today to deliver the welcome address, and you have set the stage right for this FDP. Thank you so much. Over to Rizvi.
Thank you, Dr. Karthik, for your warm and inspiring welcome address, setting the perfect tone for today's proceeding. On this note, we welcome our esteemed guest who will be presenting valuable insights today, and rightly pointed by Dr. Karthik that it should be an enlightening experience. I would like to call Dr. Gyan Prakash Arya to introduce us to our resource person for today.
Good morning, everyone. मैं ज्ञान प्रकाश आर्य आप सबका इस प्रोग्राम में स्वागत करता हूं। आज हमारे बीच में जो डिस्टिंग्विश गेस्ट आए हैं, फर्स्ट डॉक्टर दत्तात्रेय प्रहाद, एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मैथमेटिक्स, रिजवी कॉलेज ऑफ आर्ट साइंस एंड कॉमर्स। सर हमारे कंसर्न रिजवी कॉलेज ऑफ साइंस एंड एजुकेशन सोसाइटी के अंदर में है, और सर का इंट्रोडक्शन इस प्रकार है। सर का एजुकेशन क्वालिफिकेशन, सर ने एमएससी फ्रॉम विदर्भ महाविद्यालय अमरावती से इन मैथमेटिक्स सब्जेक्ट्स में किया। सर आपने बीएड भी किया है चेंबूर कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव कॉलेज ऑफ चेंबूर मुंबई इन द सब्जेक्ट साइंस एंड मैथमेटिक्स में। सर ने पीएचडी डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब मराठवाड़ा यूनिवर्सिटी में 2009 में की इन द सब्जेक्ट ऑफ द स्टैटिस्टिक। सर का पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस है, सर ने स्टार्ट में जूनियर कॉलेज ऑफ टीचर इन मैथमेटिक्स में विनायक गणेश बॉयज कॉलेज बुलुंड से अपना करियर स्टार्ट किया, और रिसेंटली प्रेजेंट सर्विस सर रिजवी कॉलेज ऑफ आर्ट साइंस एंड कॉमर्स में कर रहे हैं। सर ने रिजवी कॉलेज ऑफ आर्ट साइंस में स्टेज 1 से असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर से लेकर स्टेज 4 तक एज अ एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर की तरह काम कर रहे हैं। सिग्निफिकेंट पब्लिकेशंस में सर ने लगभग 10 से 12 रिसर्च पेपर पब्लिश किए हैं, जो लगभग 2015 से लेकर रिसेंटली 2024 तक पब्लिश हुए हैं, जो सर का बेस्ट सब्जेक्ट्स रहा है स्टैटिस्टिकल एनालिसिस इन द मैथमेटिक्स सब्जेक्ट्स में। और इसके साथ ही सोशियो इकोनॉमिक्स, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द स्टेट ऑफ द इंडिया, स्टैटिकल एनालिसिस ऑफ द कोविड-19 वेव्स नई मुंबई में किया, हार्वेस्टिंग प्रॉस्पेरिटी, देयर इज अ कंपैरेटिव एनालिसिस ऑफ कर्नाटका एग्रीकल्चर डेवलपमेंट, आदि रिसर्च पेपर सर ने पब्लिश किए। सर ने लगभग 15-20 सेमिनार, नेशनल लेवल, इंटरनेशनल लेवल कॉन्फ्रेंस, नेशनल लेवल, इंटरनेशनल लेवल और आदि वर्कशॉप अटेंड किए हैं। इसके अलावा सर ने रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट जो कि यूजीसी की तहत गाइड में 2011-12 में स्टैटिस्टिकल एनालिसिस ऑफ रीजनल डिस्पैरिटी इन डेवलपमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र रिसेंट सिनेरियो पर काम किया, जिस पर उनको लगभग 1,75,000 का स्पॉन्सरशिप ग्रांट भी मिला एज अ माइनर रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट के तहत। सर ने एक और माइनर रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट स्पॉन्सर किया जो यूनिवर्सिटी मुंबई के तहत हुआ, दैट इज अ कंपैरेटिव स्टडी ऑफ स्टेट यूनियन टेरिटरीज ऑफ इंडिया ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ सोशियो इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट। सर ने बुक्स लिखी जो कि फर्स्ट कोर्स इन ग्रुप थियरी सर के द्वारा प्रकाशित हुई है अंडर द हिमालय पब्लिकेशंस में। सर रिसर्च गाइड की तरफ भी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड है इन पीएचडी इन मैथमेटिक्स अंडर द यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ द मुंबई। तो सर का इस तरह से देखने पर एक लंबा करियर जिसमें अनेक प्रकार के एक्सपीरियंस हमें मिलते हैं। तो सर आज हमारे बीच में पीओ पीएसओ सीओ के तहत एज गाइड करने के लिए उपस्थित हुए हैं। तो सर का मैं वंस अगेन स्वागत करता हूं कि इस सब्जेक्ट्स पर आपकी एक्सपर्टीज हमें मिले और हमारा इस सब्जेक्ट्स में ज्ञानवर्धन हो। थैंक यू। और जो दूसरे गेस्ट आए हैं सर के साथ में, मिस्टर विश्वास देशमुख, आप भी एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर हैं डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ फिजिक्स, रिजवी कॉलेज ऑफ आर्ट्स साइंस एंड कॉमर्स के तहत। सर का जीवन एकदम सरल, जो पिछले दिनों बात करने पर एहसास हुआ, और सर से कई बार हमने कहा कि सर आप अपना इंट्रोडक्शंस के लिए जो आपने अचीव किया है वो भेज दीजिए। सर ने कहा कि कोई बात नहीं, ऐसी कोई बड़ी खास बात नहीं है, कि जस्ट आप मुझे ऐसे ही अपने ही सिंपल इस वे में कर देना। तो सर और दोनों सर, प्रहलाद सर एंड विश्वास सर, आप दोनों ही एक्सपर्टीज हैं अपने इस फील्ड में। तो आज का सेशन में हम सब आप दोनों से यही गुजारिश है कि आप अपनी एक्सपर्टीज को बताते हुए जो आज की थीम है उसको, उसके जो डाउट्स हैं और उसके जो डिफरेंट स्टेजेस और किस तरीके से आज हमारे फ्यूचर करियर में काम आएंगी, इन सारी चीजों को डिटेल में आप स्टेप बाय स्टेप एक्सप्लेन करेंगे और हमारे डाउट क्लियर करेंगे। तो दोनों गेस्ट डॉक्टर प्रहलाद सर एंड मिस्टर विश्वास देशमुख सर, आप दोनों का वंस अगेन स्वागत है रिजवी कॉलेज ऑफ एजुकेशन की तरफ से। थैंक यू सर। यस, ओवर टू अर्जी।
Thank you, Dr. Gyan Prakash Arya, sir, for graciously introducing our distinguished resource person. The session is now open to our respective resource person. The stage is all yours, sir.
Good morning. Very happy to start with the welcome of all the participants. A good gathering of educators. This presentation is into two parts according to the discussion. I am going to just introduce OBE and COPO-PSO, and actual attainment Vishwas sir is going to present, and at the end we will have discussion or your queries, whatever. To start with the introduction of outcome-based education, shortly we are calling it as OBE. We have to see that in June 2014, India entered into an agreement in Washington Accord, and that agreement is about implementing OBE in all Indian educational institutes. Basically, it has started for NBA, National Board of Accreditation. You all are from education background, or teacher education is your subject, but basically this discussion started for engineering and technology. And in that engineering and technology, like we have NAC here, they have NBA accreditation. That is, NBA accreditation is for the programs, not for college. And that means that NBA accreditation is, if we need to recognize it from the other countries, Western countries, we have to implement OB. That was the motive behind starting this OB here in India. That is the background I am just telling. Actual circular or GR came from UGC after implementation of NEP 2020, and that circular is under the title that Curriculum and Credit Framework for Undergraduate Program. And there they have given all details of NEP and what are the different courses to be implemented, everything. And there they have mentioned about outcome-based education and whatever now we are calling it as CO-PO-PSO. Basically, in that first circular came from UGC, they have not mentioned directly about CO-PO or PSO. They said something about learning outcomes and to be measured. This much is the thing which they have mentioned in that. Before starting the discussion of OB, COPO, PSO, etc., I will explain you one important thing that UGC or NAC or even AICT has not given any complete guideline that how to design the COPO-PSO, how to measure COPO attainment level, and what exact measure to be taken after that. Only they have mentioned that you have to follow this procedure. Means there is no fixed procedure that given by UGC or AICT. So every college, every university, with that broad perspective of OBE, they have framed their own COPO, PSO idea, then attainment, how to measure the attainment level. So if you see the analysis done by different universities, different technology institutes, you will see that there are a lot of difference in calculations. So everybody has applied their own mind, and accordingly they have designed some frame under which they are measuring the attainment level. Now, what exact today's situation is that all because of that NBA, all technology institutes and universities, they have started measuring, implementing attainment level and taking the corrective measures accordingly. After that, since that has come in NAC or in AQR and SSR, all universities, traditional universities and affiliated colleges also started calculating or analyzing the attainment level, but not at up to that level which already gained by the technology institutes. My observation, since I am discussing from last 1 month with these B.Ed college teachers, because of this particular FDP, what I observed that most of the colleges around, they have designed the framework for CO, PO and PSO. But except one or two, I don't have an exact idea, but one or two, nobody has gone beyond that. I don't say that nobody has done, but some of the teachers, some of the colleges may have done. So, thinking in that way, we have designed this total presentation into two parts. First, I will introduce OBE, then I will explain you COPO, PSO, and after that, Deshmukh sir will take over and he will continue with how to measure the attainment levels. Now, if you see the definition of here outcome-based education, it is said that it is a framework where the educational process focuses on achieving special outcomes. Now, first you have to see that the word here we are using is outcome. And if you see our earlier discussion before NEP, there was objectives for each course or each program. We were framing the objectives. Even in the syllabus, we used to have objectives at the beginning of the syllabus of each and every course, each and every subject you can. Now, because of this OBE and along with that NEP 2020, most of the terminology, most of the words are changed. Now, what are the basic changes here? That objectives are only changed into the word outcome. Now, we can't say that just only objective and outcome are both the same things. They are trying to make it more practical. So, just instead of saying the word objective, more theoretical it seems, they have made it like outcome is some constructive exact thing which will get after completing the study of the subject or completing the degree. Now, what language I am using, the words I am using, it is from the old system. Now, what are the changes? We are saying that objective with some changes, some perspective change into outcomes. Then there comes GA, graduate attributes. Now, what are these graduate attributes? This is the broad spectrum, and it is under that it comes CO, PO, and PSO. So, graduate attributes are the qualities we are expecting from the graduates of our college, university, or any institute. Now, how to measure that graduate or how to define that graduate? Then we have the next thing, that outcomes, CO, PO, and PSO. Now, if you see that this discussion is going from our old education system and we are comparing with the industry. Some of the teachers, if they are of our age, my age, then they may think that this is not good, because in our age, means when we were a student or young teacher, our discussion was like that: you can't compare the education with the industry. You don't say that our students are the products and whatever the investment is being done in education, we should get some outcome. Now we are using that. So that perspective will change, and we are now coming to the level of industry. That is the basic difference in the old and new system. Now, if you see how that industry works, manufacturing industry in particular, they are having some product. They design some product, and then they decide that how that product will work, what work will be done by that product, and then they advertise that they are doing the marketing, and whatever the need of the customer, accordingly they make the changes in the product. And we have a specific word, that R&D, research and development. For every industry, there is research and development unit. And what they are doing, they are continuously making the changes in the product, which will be more efficient than the earlier one. Now, this is the idea in the industry. What exactly we are doing here in the education is the same thing, that we have to make a product which is our student. In the old pattern, we are saying that it is a student. Now, in the higher education, with these changes with OB and NAP, they have completely changed the words, and we are now saying that they are learners. Who are the students? They are the learners. And who are the teachers in the higher education are facilitators. Now, we can say that we have changed the names only, but that is not the fact. With the change of the name, they have changed the work also, job also. Now, our job is not to give the lectures only, or just to give the syllabus, give the notes and finish. That is the old system. Now, here you can see that next point I have raised here is significant shift from teacher-centric to learner-centric pedagogies. Now, what is this teacher-centric to learner-centric? First, we see that what is teacher-centric means. Whatever the knowledge the teacher is having, the teacher possesses, she will deliver it to the student, and at the end of the year, she will measure, she will take exam and she will measure that whatever I was having, what percentage of the knowledge is passed on to the student. Now, if it is in the old system 35%, then it's okay, the student passed. If it is 60%, then a better knowledge is passed on to the student. That was the old pattern. And if all that different subjects he has studied and passed or got some good marks, then he was getting the degree. That was the old pattern. Now it has changed from teacher-centric to learner-centric means what? What is the learner-centric thing? Learner-centric thing means whatever the learner, means our student, his or her need, his interest and requirement of the industry, wherever he or she will go, what are the requirement of that industry? Accordingly, we have to give him the inputs, him or her, whatever the inputs we have to give. Now that inputs what we are giving is to be pre-decided. Pre-decided means with the curriculum, we have to decide that what achievements or what the changes in student or the learner, we say in the new system, is going to achieve at the end of the completion of the course or completion of the program. That changes, that effect which we are expecting is to be measured, and that's why we have CO-PO-PSO system and attainment level. Now, the next point I covered here is the link between theory and practice. We all know that in the old system we were teaching the students theory, and there was a very less uh, emphasis on practice in general for arts, science, commerce. I'm telling. In science, we were having some practicals in the chemistry, physics, etc. But rather, other than that, we don't have any practical things. Now, what NEP or OBE is expecting that with the theory, you should have practicals, not only for science subject, for every subject. Now, next point is what is the key principle of OBE? Key principle of OBE is start with the end in mind. If you are introducing some course, introducing some program, what end you are expecting, what changes, what skills developed in the student, what knowledge he is gaining, what application which he can make, everything we have to decide first and then we have to start. This end is fixed. End is fixed means end is pre-decided. Now whether we are going to whatever pre-decided, how we can get it is the attainment level. Now the next point is, see what are the things which are changed in the teaching methods. Basically, what degree or program which we are introducing. Earlier we used to say degree, now we are saying that we are introducing some program. That program should be interconnected arrangement of courses, co-curricular and extracurricular activities. So in the earlier pattern, we were having some theory courses, passing the examination in all that courses, the students were getting the degree. Now this new approach is saying that the program should not have only the theory courses, which now we are dividing into major, minor and elective, etc. Other than that, there should be practical things, there should be projects given by the teachers, open-ended project work, some of which may be team-based activities designed to promote development of generic or transferable and subject-specific skills. Now, this also includes internship. Now, what this open-ended project work means, that in industry somewhere they may be doing some research and one project is going on. Our student will go there for 6 months, 1 year, 3 months, whatever, a specific project. He will get involved in that project. He will put some efforts to get that project completed. He may not complete the project there, or he may not start that project there, but he will work somewhere and he will get some knowledge from that, and he will put some input in that project also. That is open-ended project work. And most of the engineering colleges or in the Western countries, if you see, they are having internship, paid internship for every uh, uh, Master of Science courses. What they are doing, they are having some projects and they keep these learners, students on that project. They give their inputs and accordingly the student works and they continue that project, complete the project with different uh, students which are there for internship. So that idea is also to be implemented here. There should be field project, there should be field visits, there should be co-curricular activities. Now you may say that, sir, we are having co-curricular or extracurricular activities earlier. The difference here in that we were not having some um, marks or score for that um, particular extracurricular or co-curricular except that some incentives we are getting for NSS, NCC, etc. Now they are giving here complete credits, 1 or 2 credits for each such course. That is to be implemented so that not only by teaching, they, with that all other different experiences with co-curricular and extracurricular activities, student will gain practical knowledge of the subject also. So from earlier pattern of teaching and giving only the notes, we have to provide them the resources. The resources may be your study material, maybe some e-learning resources, and their experience we are giving them in other different projects, even in the research project also. And after that, we should have the assessment of the student, which we call evaluation also. It should be a formative assessment, continuous assessment in which sessional works and terminal exam will contribute to the final grade. So I think most of the B.Ed colleges have implemented NEP. I don't know exact idea, but if you have implemented, most of the things will be just mere repetition here. Now after that, you see what are the core components of OB, outcome-based education. The broad idea I have shown here that you have the clearly defined outcome, knowledge and competency of the learner expected to acquire. This is the first one. Then you have assessment. So whether actually you have whatever the teaching methods you have applied accordingly, whether student has gained that knowledge or in that competency, you have to assess through your different exams. Then you have to measure the attainment level. Then you have to restructure the curriculum design accordingly. Whatever you have designed earlier, whatever the teaching learning methods you have designed earlier, and accordingly you have implemented it, whether it is going in the proper direction, that you have to check through the PO-PSO attainment level, and then you have to make the changes accordingly. Same thing about teaching learning activities also. Whatever that activity designed to facilitate the achieving the intended outcome, if it is not giving us the proper output, we have to make the changes. Now we are coming to the main point, which may be the major part of my discussion, that how to design or what is the meaning of this CO, PO, and PSO. Now coming to the first one, what are the course outcomes? Now, when in the beginning only I said that there was one circular from UGC, and accordingly we have started this discussion. There they have mentioned learning outcomes, and then learning outcomes are now divided into 3 parts: course learning outcome, then program learning outcome, and program specific learning outcome. In the discussion or in the next circular, slowly that word is changed, and now just instead of using learning outcome word, we are using the word outcome in short. That's why in your AQAR and SSR of B.Ed colleges, teacher education colleges, you may see the short form CLO, PLO. It is nothing exactly. CLO is CO and PLO is P. I was also a little bit confused when I came to know that you are using the word CLO. So I have made a total survey and I came to the conclusion that CLO is CO, PLO is PO. Now, what is CO? Course outcome. So it is exactly what the student will gain from completing that course. Course is the subject. In the earlier way, we were saying that, let us say, economics is a subject, or in your B.Ed course. In my time, there was philosophy one subject, then sociology other subject, then evaluation is the third subject. So all that subjects now change into courses, and what exactly the student will achieve, what changes will be in the student or the learner after completing that course. That everything will be narrow in the sense, basically it is a detailed discussion about that course. It is expected that for each course there should be 5 to 6 course outcomes. Expected, I am saying that because there is no concrete instruction from any of the authorities like UGC, AICT or university. But what we observe that generally we should have course outcome 5 to 6 for one course. What I observed that in B.Ed colleges, when I saw that what they are doing, they are defining the course outcome for each and every module. So if there are suppose 4 modules, for each of the module they are giving 2-3 course outcomes. So if there 4 into 3, there will be 12 course outcomes. If there are suppose 5 courses, then 12 into 5, 60 different course outcomes. Then it will be difficult for you to continue with this all 50-60 outcomes and in analysis purpose. As many course outcome you will introduce, then that many columns you will have to increase in your analysis of attainment level. Your task will become difficult. So my suggestion is that for each course, that whoever is the course coordinator has to define maximum 5 to 6 course outcomes. How it can be done, that I will explain with some examples afterwards. The second thing about the course outcome is that you can have your own ideas and accordingly you can define course outcome, no problem. Nobody will take objection. But if you think about the Bloom's taxonomy before defining the course outcome, you will have a concrete idea that what exactly you are talking about, and measurement will be easy for you. You all are B.Ed college professors, you know Bloom's taxonomy, and I think you are teaching that to your students. So that is the exact number of steps, and accordingly, if you construct the course outcome, then measurement you can easily calculate from level 1 to level 6. So my suggestion is that instead of going for 4 to 10 to 12 course outcome, go for 5 to 6. And overall, there should be a 10 to 12 program outcome. Now, what is the difference between course outcome and program outcome? The program outcome is a little broad idea that is expected from the student at the end of or completion of the program or degree. These statements are very broad statements which will be is applicable to all the degree courses related to the different disciplines. Means suppose we are having BSc degree. For BSc degree, we are having a broad spectrum which we call as program outcome. Under BSc, we have BSc chemistry, physics, mathematics, botany, zoology, etc. So for that, what is the difference between in a broad spectrum? What extra thing which we should get from the student? What competencies, what knowledge, what skill the student should get for in that specific discipline? Suppose chemistry. Then we have to design some PSO that are called program specific outcomes. If for any program there is no such varieties of discipline, I don't think PSOs are needed. It is not a compulsory part. If you feel that when we have B.Ed, Bachelor of Education is a program, and whatever the outcomes which are similar to all, then you can have only program outcomes. Now, whatever the idea I am having about B.Ed, since I have done B.Ed, there are two parts. One is, I think, science, math methods, and other is humanities methods. I think. These two are there. Now, when you see that you have program outcome for Bachelor of Education program, and you are expecting something different from science, math methods, and something different from humanities methods. So basically, difference I was explaining that for any degree course like BSc, BA, BCom, B.Ed, we have to define program outcomes. And if there is any specific discipline under that degree, then we have to define program specific outcome. If it is required, it is not compulsory part. So I was explaining about the two methods, science, maths, and humanities, as per my knowledge. So whatever the program outcomes of B.Ed will be common to both. But if you think that science students should have some extra competencies or knowledge, then you can put it under specific courses, specific outcomes. But don't consider it as a compulsory thing. It may or may not. Now, after giving the explanation of whether what are these COPOs and PSO, I'm trying to give you some particular examples in different disciplines. I will not go in detail because I think I'm already too late. I was explaining that whenever you are defining the COPOs, if you follow this Bloom's taxonomy, it will be convenient for you. That also I explained why it was like that. Now you take the example of my own subject. It is mathematics paper 2 in FY BSc course, and we are teaching algebra. I will give you the rough idea that what type of things we are teaching there. We are teaching them integers in detail, not like school. We are going in detailed properties of integers, etc. And then thereafter we teach them functions, binary operation, binary relation, and lastly we are teaching them polynomials. So we have three modules or three units there. One is integers and divisibility. Second is function, relation, and operations, binary operations, and third is polynomial. Now, what I observed that every course coordinator or the teacher is thinking that I should write the course outcome for each of that unit. But if you go by Bloom's taxonomy, you can decide the level, and at that level, what different thing the student can achieve from the different modules, you can write at once. So what I wrote here for CO1, the learner can recall the number system, particularly the integers including prime numbers with their properties related to divisibility of integer, concept of function, etc., and properties of polynomial. So this is at a knowledge level, remembering level. Then what another course outcome will be that learner understands the number system, and he will understand remaining topics which I have discussed earlier. Because if I read each and everything, it will be repeated. Then third level, it is application level. Then the student will apply his knowledge, whatever the formula he has remembered, he can apply that formula to solve the problem. That is our third level. So we have third course outcome. Fourth level is analysis level. So he can analyze the properties of number system, then function, different types of function. Then he can get some knowledge, extra knowledge, or his own understanding from whatever he remembered and understood from whatever the topics taught to him. And lastly, he can have his own creation from this. He can apply this knowledge, and he can make some usage of this knowledge to solve the problems in other subjects like engineering, technology, or even commerce also, or even in some of the art subjects. He can apply that. You might be knowing that number theory is a very abstract subject, but finally we applied it in the mobiles. Whatever the coding nowadays we are doing is from the knowledge of number system. So for many years we were teaching number system, and we were expecting this CO5. So we should not be under the impression that today I have designed the CO 1 to 5. Now I taught the subject or that course completed, and the student should reach to the CO5. We have to check whether he is reaching or not, and accordingly we have to change our teaching methods and whatever the resources we are providing to the learner. Now this is about my subject. Then I took one from our Deshmukh sir's. They are teaching optics in physics in the second semester, and how they have defined this course outcome using. The learner will be able to learn and understand the basic lens and lens system. So at this level, they are just thinking that the student will learn and understand the lenses. Then in the second level, again they will say the learner will understand reflection, refraction, interference phenomena of electromagnetic radiation, solving quantitative numerical on the concept. Means here in the second level, they are expecting to solve some problems. Numericals mean problem from the knowledge of this reflection, refraction, etc. At third thing, course outcome, they are expecting to understand another topic, laser, optical fiber, construction, etc. in modern and application in daily life and in modern communication. Now here in the third course outcome, they are expecting that the learner should be able to apply the knowledge in daily life or in modern communication. And in fourth, they are expecting to think, practice, analyze the basic fundamental concept through solving example. See, if you compare these two approaches, what I did in the mathematics, that I took all the different topics which we are teaching, different units or modules, and I took the level 1 to 5 in a order. Now what sir has done, he has taken learning and understanding of different topics at different levels, and at the last he has summed up with thinking, practice and analyzing of all these topics. So this is the approach. It is not fixed for everybody how they can go. That is according to the understanding and experience of the facilitator, course coordinator. They have to decide. Then go for the art subject, sociology. Now, how they are expecting. The learner will know the perspectives in sociology. So here, the first level in Bloom's taxonomy. Remember, no. Then second, the learner will know workings of the institutions of marriage, family and religion. Still, they are at the first level of Bloom's taxonomy. Then the learner will understand outlining the historical evolution of human society and culture. Now they are at second level. Then in the fourth, same again second level, understanding level of the other topic, that self of the self and the process of socialization. But still you see that this fourth outcome they are expecting at a broader level, self and the process of socialization. Here in the first two, they are stick to one particular topic of their subject. But in the fourth, they are having some broad idea. But here they have not gone to the next level of Bloom's taxonomy. They are not expecting. Then it's okay. They may be thinking that at this first year course, we are not expecting the students to go for fourth, fifth, and sixth level of Bloom's taxonomy. Then it's okay. It's fine. They have done it up to understanding level. Now come to your own subject, childhood and growing up. This is the first course I think in as per my knowledge in B.Ed semester 1. So how the course outcomes are designed here. Learner will be able to understand the principles of growth and development and analyze the role of school in the effective development of its learner. Now this course coordinator, whoever, he is directly going to the second level of Bloom's taxonomy. Knowledge, they are expecting that in a current scenario, we are getting the students of those who have done already graduation in some discipline. After that, they are coming for the next degree, though it is a bachelor degree, but second bachelor degree they are doing here. So it is fair enough that directly we are expecting them understand, not at knowledge level only. So it has started from understanding level. Then second, critical examination of role of heredity, environment, and the maturation in the growth and development of individual. In the third, directly analysis of influence of parenting styles, social context, and development of children. Fourth level, employ the different methods and approaches to study human development. Again, examine the theoretical perspectives of child development analysis, analyze its implication in the classroom interaction. Learner will be able to develop understanding about one's own self as well as the other, and apply the understanding for one's own and other development. See, in the course outcome also, in the sixth course outcome, they are expecting a little higher level of achievement, which is generally expected in the program outcome. So this is the signaling of what they are expecting from program outcome, the last course outcome, if you see. So this is exactly according to the understanding of course coordinator. He or she has to decide that what exactly I want from the learner. Now, what interesting thing I got in the discussion of thinking over this presentation, that in our case, traditional courses, we are facilitator and next is a learner, two steps. Now, in your case, very interesting is that you all are facilitator. Whoever is your learner is a prospective teacher and he is having the student. So there are three levels of education going on simultaneously. So there is a big role of facilitator in B.Ed courses than any traditional courses. That is my understanding from this discussion. Whatever I study for this presentation, I understood this. So you have a very big role. What role we are having to teach our courses? You have a very bigger role, because we are producing some skilled people for industry or whatever the different institution. What you are doing? You are producing the teachers for producing the students again for different industry and institution. So you have a bigger role. Now, after this course outcomes, I am coming to program outcome. In since we are discussing about physics only, a general program outcome I have not considered here. Now I have considered only physics program specific outcome. What they are expecting here, the learner will understand the various theories and principles in different branches of physics, namely mechanics, etc., etc. Now this expectation cannot be from chemistry student, from math student. That's why it is a specific outcome. Understand the fundamentals and significance of various phenomena through theory and related practical and laboratory skills. Understanding the theory, learned and develop a skill to solve wide range of numerical problems. So mostly here they have considered the specific thing which they are gaining from physics degree, though it is a BSc degree common for physics, chemistry, math, for extra thing for physics. I think we can, this is just as an example, at particular course and particular coordinator, this idea can be extended for program specific outcome. More than this, they can define program specific outcome so that it will be different from course outcome. Here, something somewhere is matching to course outcome. We have to see that we more than the course outcome, we have to make it a broader way to define the program specific outcomes. Then here we have the Bachelor of Arts Sociology. They have PO and PSO here. See what they are expecting as PO. This is common for all Bachelor of Arts degree program. Learner will be able to do critical thinking, able to do effective communication, then to do social interaction, able to learn the effective citizenship, and to learn the ethics. PO6, you see that learner will be able to understand the environment and sustainability, its need and the essential measures to be taken for it. And the last one will be able to achieve the self-directed and lifelong learning. So see how they are going in a broader perspective. Now, these are the POs common to all BA degree, BA program, maybe sociology, economics, or English literature, whatever. But here for sociology, see what are the program specific outcomes. The learner will see the social world from many perspectives. This is the thing they are expecting from the student who is completing BA program but under sociology. The learner will understand how patterns of thought and knowledge are influenced by social, political, and economic structure. The learner will achieve the basic theoretical, methodological, and statistical skills needed to be successful practitioners of the discipline. And the other thing you see, the learner will develop a well-rounded personality through numerous exchanges of ideas, ideologies, dogmas, views, and thoughts. So I think they are expecting these uh, qualities in the student who is studying sociology and not economics or other subject. And the last one, the learner will foster a sense of social responsibility and social consciousness. This is also specific to the sociology subject. So these are all discussions about POs and PSOs. Now see the course of POs for your subject. The first one, develop requisite knowledge on the subject matter integrated with necessary pedagogic skill competencies among the prospective teachers. Apply the knowledge and
Sir, we lost your voice, sir. Parhad, sir.
am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you're audible now, sir.
And you can see my presentation?
No, sir, you'll have to share screen
Okay, I
again.
will. It's okay now?
It's yes, sir. So you can full screen.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So whatever the program outcome defined here is according to the understanding of whoever the members of board of studies. I think so, but it can be further improved in the later stages because course outcome, program outcomes are not the fixed thing. That these are the things which we are defining, deciding in the beginning of every semester, every year, and start of every program. So we have the facility to change them according to our experience of execution of all these learning activities and coming to the conclusion that whatever the program outcomes we are thinking, either they are incomplete or they are not achievable, you can modify that. Now, this is all about PO-PSO, etc. Now, coming to the last part of my discussion, what are the benefits of OBE? The first thing is clarity and focus, clear expectation for what the learner should learn and achieve. At the beginning, I discussed this. The goal is that we must know what should be the end. That is the thing. Then flexibility. The facilitator can use diverse teaching methods to meet the outcome. Not only lecturing methods, etc., but we can go for different courses, extracurricular activities, field projects, internship. That everything is included here in OB. Then continuous improvement result from the assessment inform curriculum and teaching improvement, meaning that whenever you assess the student, then you evaluate your attainment, analyze your attainment, you are getting the inputs for what, that what curriculum you design, is it okay, what teaching methods you are applying, are they are okay or you want need to change it, that everything you will get from this OBE after achieving the attainment level. Then learner center learning means focus on learners needs and progress, that we have already discussed in the So these are the things which are the benefits of OB. Then come to the last point, that is implementation of OB. What exactly one has to do? This is just to sum up. Already I have discussed everything. You have to define the outcome, then define curriculum, develop the curriculum, then design assessments, then in that assessment measure the achievement of outcomes, attainment level, then monitor this whole process and improve it. How? By collecting the data of outcomes, analyzing the results, and making adjustment to improve education quality. So while implementing the OBE, we have to go through these 4 steps. First, we have to define outcome, then curriculum, then assessment, and last, analyzing the results and improve. Now, the same thing I have tried to make it into some simple way. What is the impact of OB? When implemented effectively, OB can lead to improve educational outcome, better preparation of the workforce. This is the main point here. We are trying to give better workforce and more engaging learning experience instead of giving only theory knowledge. Then future trend will be continued evolution of OBE with technology and data-driven insight. This is repetition of the earlier thing, I think so, because as we are using attainment level or calculating attainment level, no doubt we are using technology and data-driven insights. Now, what is the role of the facilitator? Encourage everyone enrolled in the education to embrace the OB framework and focus on achieving the meaningful outcomes of for the learner. What exactly what we people, those who are the participants and we are resource person today, what exactly we are doing is our role actually in the OB. It is not somebody who is sitting in Delhi or in the university at vice chancellor level. It is not their role. It is we all are the part of that to encourage this to get a better workforce and in particular, in my view, a better human being also. To sum up, I will give you a brief idea of what will be the structure of the OB. You have to target some level of course outcomes. You have to measure the attainment level. If suppose your target is attended, if you got AS, then you can say that target level is attended. If you say no, it is not attended, then you have to take appropriate action for that. Appropriate action means what exactly you will see. Sorry. Where actually it has gone. Something I am missing. Yeah, this one. Here also I tried this particular cycle I have made by for me. You can also try to understand this. Curriculum is the first part. Together with the curriculum, we can't say this is first. COPO, and learning resource. These 3 things you have to define first. After executing this learning resources, everything in the course, you have to evaluate the student. On the basis of that evaluation, you have to measure the attainment level. Now, what inputs you are getting from the attainment level, you have to restructure your learning resources. You have to redefine your COPO, and again come to the original point, you redefine the curriculum. This is the cycle of OBE. Basically, it ends or starts with curriculum design, but every part, curriculum, COPO, and learning. These 3 are the major parts of OB, and the next 3 parts are measurement levels. You have to evaluate the student and you have to evaluate yourself by measuring the attainment level. Then see what exactly the presentation, how it will go after this. I am going to conclude now. After that, sir will start. He will teach you, explain you Bloom's taxonomy, then level of achievements in Bloom's taxonomy. He will give you brief idea that how you can map COPO and PSO from Bloom taxonomy. Then he will also give you measuring attainment level at SEE, means semester end exam, university exam, or whatever theory exam you are taking. Then similarly, he will explain you how you can measure the attainment level at internal exam. Now, whatever you are getting the level or correlation yeah, percentage, whatever you are getting from this attainment measurement from this 2SE and internal exam, you have to calculate final attainment by weighted average of these two parts. And we say that this is final attainment at direct assessment. So direct assessment include internal exams also in SEL. After that, he will explain you that how to calculate the attainment indirect assessment. This indirect assessment means your attainment level to be calculated with the feedback from stakeholders. Whoever, the spelling mistake, you please excuse. The stakeholders we have to take in the consideration. We have to take their feedback, and again we have to make the attainment level. So you are getting the attainment level from direct assessment, indirect assessment. Again, you have to make the weighted average of that, and you will call it as a final. Once you get the final attainment level, sir will explain that how to make the gap analysis. Gap analysis means exactly what I am explaining in the broader way, that you have to check your COPO, your teaching methods and curriculum. So with this, I think I will stop here. Thank you for the patient listening. Thank you, sir. Sir can continue.
Good morning, everyone. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for the theoretical explanation on OBE. So I will not take the first slides. I will directly go to the Bloom's taxonomy. I will first thank you all the organizers, particularly B.Ed College or Rizvi Education, and for calling me as a resource person. I'm trying my level best to understand what is the COPO mapping and practically how are we going to do it. There are several methods. One of the method we are taking up, and accordingly I have tried to map. I hope you will understand, and that is why I told Gyan sir that let us you all find out my attainment level, and after that you give me the give my introduction to the persons, to the people who are who are attending this workshop. So let us go for this. So we know all this is the teaching methodology or the curriculum or the teaching learning method is completely changing, and therefore NCR, that is National Credit Framework, has come up with the OBE platform, and where we have to take the education as a learner oriented rather than the teacher oriented. That all of us we know. Earlier, the system was unidirectional. Now the system is becoming bidirectional, because it is not only the teacher is playing the role, it is the student or the learner is also playing the same role. So let us begin with this. All our teacher facilitators who are who are present here, they all know this particular famous triangle, which was proposed by Benjamin Bloom in 1956. I'll not go into the depth of this, but when I was attending the seminar or workshop, maybe in 22-23, when it was came into NAC, that attainment of COPO, and the resource person, when he was trying to explain what is Bloom's taxonomy, suddenly I get into the 3D visualization of this diagram, and I find out that Bloom has come up with the 5-layered cake for us. Okay, it is a 5-layered cake. You will have base as a remember, and rest of this 5 layers you can see. I hope everyone will accept this. So this is a beautiful cake which is presented by Bloom to us, and we have to see that how critically, or how are we going to use our expertise to go ahead with for designing, for implementation, and for other attainment levels. Okay, so basically, why this structure is required? Okay, if you go, why Bloom's taxonomy is required? Because it is basically the classification is done of different outcomes. When we decide the courses, or when we define programs, the classification is of the different programs or the courses is based on some methodologies, okay, and some understanding. So here the outcomes and skills that educator sets for the learner is hierarchically arranged. So what educator want to facilitate and what learner has to absorb. Accordingly, this particular pyramid is arranged, because we always find understanding without remembering is very difficult. So what is remembering is just a retrieving, recognizing, and recalling the things or the concept which are being taught or which are learned by the learner himself or herself. Understanding is just the next stage where the learner will understand or understand the meaning from oral, written, or any graphical presentation of the concept which is he or she is remembering. He is trying to classify, he is trying to summarize, he is trying to comparing and explaining the terms. Then application point, analyzing point, evaluation point, and creation. These are all things Parhad sir has already explained to you. So I am not going into the depth of this. But this is a very good Keck style which is presented to us by Bloom's. And basically our OB is framework is based on this particular hierarchy. So what, according to the Bloom's, how are we going to use this aid as for the course design or a program design? If you see this, there are 6 levels. Okay, these are the 6 levels. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create. So I'm going from L1 to L6. Topmost is a L6 and lowest one, lower one is a L1. So when we go for it, when we when any stakeholder or the student or the learner want to understand something, understand the concept, he must remember what has been taught. Okay, he must know the basic definitions, ideas. He must memorize something, and then he can able to understand the concept and identify, and later on he can apply. So to apply the concept, the learner may first understand the concept very well, because without understanding, application is difficult. As sir has given the example of number system, whenever the student of the mathematics want to apply it, basically the number system need to be understand first very thoroughly, and then only we can or the student can analyze it or apply it. And then when we go for the analyzing, then analyzing is something where the student or the learner is trying to differentiate between the different or comparing between the different concepts within the application mind. So therefore, there is some comparison is there between the concepts and trying to apply that concept somewhere. Say, for example, I am a physics teacher and I'm trying to explain force and pressure. So whenever the student, I'm trying to say whether the student has analyzed what is force and what is pressure, then the student will be trying to experiment to get an idea about force and to get an idea about the pressure, where he is trying to correlate, or he is trying to examine 2 different concepts together to analyze and apply simultaneously. So the evaluation process must come after analyzation. So therefore, evaluation goes at the L5 level, and L6 level is a creation level, where the you have to produce the some accurate conclusion, some design, some assembly, some construction has to be done. Some formulation has to be done. Like, for example, any design that any research that we do, particularly, it is a type of investigation that we do. It may be a pure innovation, or it may be a pure some research. It is searching some researching something from which is hidden in earlier ideas. So these are the things that is basically, as a teacher, as a facilitators, we have to understand first. Then only our stakeholders or the learners will try to imbibe those and try to find out these levels, whether these are the things we have actually delivered to the students or not, and whether the learner has actually absorbed these levels or not. That is why it is going on the skill-based education, where the student has learned the skill of doing all these things when a particular concept, any theory, or any course is successfully completed by the student. So basically, when we apply the Bloom's taxonomy, the it is basically comes the question how to come to a conclusion whether the student has attended the this particular course or not, or student has really developed certain skills, or developed really understood the or really developed the critical thinking or application mind or design mind at the end of the successful end of the program or not. So that is why the Bloom has come up with the verb table. This is actually he called as a work table. When I researching different articles, I come to know that this table is also called as a action verb, because here you will find out in column number 2, we'll find out the things that is basically we ask in the question paper. Okay, basically with respect to this, we set our question paper and we try to understand whether the learner is able to cope up with the levels which are defined by the Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, I hope everybody is with me, and everybody is trying to understand what is happening. So here, when we are saying like certain examples, like in physics paper or maybe in some science papers at very primary level of courses, where we talk semester 1 and first year basis students, or maybe semester 2 of first year basis students, it is very difficult to set a paper at the level of level 6, that is creation level, because they are the beginners. So therefore, even though the level 6, up to level 6, the Bloom's has defined the pyramid, but as the course progresses, as the program progresses, as the learner goes from one stage to another stage, that is SEM 1 to SEM 6 or SEM 8, SEM semester end or semester 8, depending on the type of course, we also increase the level of the hierarchy. We also increase the levels of the Bloom's taxonomy. Like in paper 1, a sir has shared one example of FIBSA where we have set only 4 courses, only CO4, not much more. And there is no program specific outcome basically for semester 1 and semester 2 students, because they are the primary learners. They are the first learners of the of this type of OB. And we assume that we are teaching them as the they are first time learners in the higher education, and therefore we ask the questions basically based on the first 2 and 3 levels. So the question paper for the first level of the student, semester 1 student, will be completely different, maybe challenging, but it is not at the level 5 or level 6 may not be attended in the question paper itself. That is what I understand when we see the different physics papers at university level also. And then as the course goes, as the program goes, semester 4, the student gets much more maturity about the subject, much more understanding of the subject, the application mind is developed, and therefore this analyzing and developing certain ideas can be imbibed into the student, and therefore the pattern of the question paper may also change. So therefore you will see the first thing, the analyzing, evaluating, and creating. These are the certain things that we can develop. Like particularly when we go for the MSc level, and when we set the paper for the MSc, we generally say, design an electronic circuit for so and so. Basically, I teach electronic communication for MSc students. So when I set the paper, I see to it that it is a MSc level student, so they have the quite greater maturity of understanding of the subject. And there, the student can, along with the explanation of the concept, they can be able to design or modify certain things when we come out with the application point of view. So basically for MSA level, we think about the apply, analyze, evaluate, and creation level. And particularly the first 2 levels are very rarely asked in the question paper, because the understanding level of first year student, as I said, will be something different. And understanding level of the application mind of the MSc student, or maybe a MTech student or ME student, is something different. So where the concept is properly understood in the first few semesters at the bachelor level. So as we go ahead, we find out these action verbs, we find out these things in our question paper, and accordingly we find out whether the student is able to perform, the student is able to attain that particular question, whether his student is only theoretically perfect or concepts are clear up to understanding and remembering level, but whether the student is able to go for evaluation level or analyzing level can be done. Because whenever we want the student after the graduation, when the students are going into the industry come up with the things which they say the student is perfect with the hypothetical knowledge or the subject knowledge, but maybe the skills are not up to the mark. So therefore, the OBE stands particularly a skill-based education, and hence the new education policy has different verticals, as we all know, which is going to come in near future. So therefore, these things, these action verbs, we need to, as a facilitator, as the program experts or course experts, we are trying to find out whether are we trying to help the students to understand all these levels through the courses. Different courses have different level of understanding, and therefore we try to find out to enhance their skills, their concept-oriented skills, theoretical skills, practical skills, hands-on skills, if any, in particular subject, and so that the student can be um, able to go into the industry, particularly in the job industry, and can explore and can show or perform well with the skills that he has attended in the up to the graduation level. So this is basically the measurement of the student. What I understand from this action table is a measurement of the student that we see that we analyze from the attainment, which we calculate according to certain calculations described by NCRF. Okay, NCRF is nothing but, all we know, it is a national credit framework, and it has the different attributes and credit system. All of us are very well know, and we can find out what are our attributes to our courses, what are the expectations from the courses, sorry, and what are the outcomes of the courses. So if you take the helpline, if you take the help from that attributes, we can easily find out what the student at the end of the course, at the end of the graduation, what are the skills developed by the student, and what are the qualities that the student has. Okay, so it is basically deals with the not only quantity, it deals with the quality also. Earlier, me might have the only declaration of result, but analysis of result was not compulsory part, though every one of us was doing that. As a teacher, we used to see what is the previous result, and we used to have always a feedback within among teacher fraternity, and we used to see why the result was down next year, what was the problem, why the student was not able to score or not attended the target level, etc. This was system, it was there, but now it is making, like AQAR and SSR and NAC has making us compulsory and make it published, or make it on the paper, so that we can go on realizing, we can go on calculating and taking our own feedback to make more and more effective communication or effective teaching learning processes. That is all about what we understand from criteria number 2 in AQAR and SSR. Okay, so now what I am going to do is basically in this part, these are the things that already I have taken from one of my friends, and I have just copied those COs, because I am not the subject expert of the education, and therefore I have to take some help from the teacher who is already into education college. So I have taken these examples. This is a course, Childhood and Growing Up, and for the entire course, only the 6 outcomes are there. So what is now my flow is, let us understand, and now slowly we are going into the practical way to map and find the attainment. Okay, only for today's session, I don't think that we would be able to go for attainment of the gap analysis, because that really requires data, and it is little different way of calculation to go for the gap analysis, even though the sir has mentioned. But uh, at least the first part, the primary attainment level, that we can do along with the mapping. So as the sir mentioned in his presentation, that course outcomes are to be designed by the expert or the head of the department of that particular subject, or it may be already defined by the university. If the college or the institute is not a autonomous institute, then the course outcomes and program outcomes, maybe the guidelines are given by the board of studies, and accordingly the head of the departments and the expert in that particular course can design a course outcomes. So these are the certain course outcomes that roughly we have chalked out for this particular course. So there are only 6 outcomes that we have taken out, and then on the basis of that, we can find out the things which are how to map with the program outcomes. So this is the first slide. I hope everybody is with me and understanding what is I'm trying to say. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. So this is the program outcome. So here, these are overall program outcomes, which the student, after completing that B.Ed, suppose it is a B.Ed program. So therefore, you will see what are the things, the program outcome, expected program outcomes to demonstrate comprehensive interdisciplinary knowledge of education as an academic discipline. Then demonstrate pedagogical skills and teaching competencies, classroom teaching, applies the pedagogical theories and skills in project-based activities like internship and etc. These points are very common points that sir has already taken. But we have the expert teacher who is teaching this into the B.Ed education or education college for so many years, have chalked down this program outcomes, and slightly only 5 to 10% I have modified it. Otherwise, rest of the things are same. So we find out this program outcomes and course outcomes are basically designed as per the levels of the Bloom's taxonomy. So it is basically, though the exact words are not seen, like the remembering, understanding, analyzing, evaluating, but even you can see this. You can see these things somewhere. If you read entire thing, you can see like program PO4, you can see the assessment, evaluation, these words are already there. PO3, understanding of the foundation. So the level 2 is also attended. So these levels, this program outcomes and the course outcomes are designed by the expert or by the university experts, and they are communicated to the colleges, and accordingly it is seen that all the levels of Bloom's taxonomy are covered up. So as we go up, like suppose I'm taking another example of the program outcome of my physics subject. So it is the program at the end of a program, BSc program in the subject of physics, what the student will be able to gain. That is what our goal. It is basically the OBE is nothing but what is the goal or the outcome of the program. So we design a program, and after designing of a program, first, as the sir said, start the end of minds, right? Some statement was there. So it is basically before we start the program, we know what is the outcome of the program. We are expecting some better output, better outcome of the program. At that expected outcome, we are trying to design, we are trying to write in the forms of level 1 to level 6 of Bloom's taxonomy. So therefore, we try to cover the portion, we try to design a syllabus so that all these levels are attended when the student completes the program, and accordingly the student can gain the knowledge as well as the skills of working, because the education is not just to produce the literates. Education requires to use this the concepts or the study or the things which the learner has learned into the industry, into the market, so that one can get the job easily, as well as the student and teacher, industry and the education link will be better and better in the future years. This is the basically idea that what I understood from the different articles which when we go through the different papers. So this is what actually some ideas about designing. So there are several program outcomes are designed. This is all over the B.Ed program. So therefore, you find out there are several POs are developed, and some of them I have picked up. And then there are certain PSOs, like the 6 PSOs are also there to empower the student teacher with professional competencies required to cope with the changing scenarios. So this is the specific outcome required. Okay, as we go, we find out what is other than the books that we try to explain. What student has to understand. Basically, like PSO2, we will find out to inquire the knowledge regarding child psychology, classroom management, various teaching methodologies, and interdisciplinary courses. So it is basically a specific outcome according to me, because as sir said, when I'm going into the physics class, I required a different methodology of teaching. And when I'm going into a particular class, maybe not a physics-like subject, then maybe my teaching methodology is little bit different. So I have different classroom management for physics class. I have a different classroom management when the student is coming to me for the practical purposes, and therefore I need to have that specific knowledge with me as a facilitator. So I designed this PSO. In this is not personally me, but the expert has defined this particular things to develop. Like PSO4 is to develop appreciation for the role of teacher. Firstly, this is the most appreciating things that I also like this PSO4, that we should appreciate our role itself first. When we appreciate ourselves, then only we can appreciate the others. And therefore, we have designed this. This is a specific skill, specific outcome which is required. So these are the 6 PSOs are designed. This may not be the exactly 100% matching with your course, but these are just a sample example I am taking. And then what we are going to do is we are going to have this thing. But before that, I am trying to show you something. Okay. This is a university paper. Okay. Since we are talking about Bloom's taxonomy, this is a university paper. I don't know which year, but this was shared with me. And I hope it is for
2019, sir. January
Yeah, okay.
2019.
Okay. Anyway, year is not important. It is 60-40 pattern. And there are 9 questions, and students are asked to solve any 5, but question number 9 is compulsory. That is any 5 questions that we know all the instructions, all our teacher here. But now if we go through this with this paper, okay, I will find out that since the students are, the learner is basically already a graduate student, right? He is either a BA, BCom or BSc student doing the another bachelor's degree. So having basic concepts clear in the first level of graduation, that is a basic graduation, then it is going for the very another graduation degree, which is B.Ed. So I find out if I get the first questions, and if I read the first question where it says justify for 10 marks, I find out, okay, this question may go with the action verb and may be matching with the level 5 of Bloom's taxonomy. I'm not a subject expert, but I find that when I read the action verbs of Bloom's taxonomy, I find out, okay, when it is justification, it is not only remembering, it is not only understanding. Okay, we are going level ahead. And therefore, this question, whatever the number of marks are assigned by the university paper setter, we are not going into that concept now. But the first question itself is a level 5, because though the student is a first year student of B.Ed, but basically the student has already passed out with the levels of 1 and 2 when he or she was doing the first graduation, BA, BSc, BCom or any other type. So according to me, the question number 1 itself is directly for level 5 question. And if I go with the previous these things, COPO, then I find out that here, okay, I'll go back this question number 1, where the student has to remember, understand and apply, and therefore it has to justify something. It is trying to compare something. So CO1 is also attended, CO2 is also attended, and somewhere CO3 and CO4 is also attended. So the question has multiple course outcomes, whether the student understanding the concept, whether student has remembering the thing and understanding the concept, and then trying to apply it and analyzing into proper way. So it is according to me, it is a level 5 question of Bloom's taxonomy, and at CO1 and CO2. So accordingly, I have gone with the question paper, and then I found out question 2 was very in a straightforward, explain the trends of development, where basically there is no requirement of critical thinking, and it is just a level 2 question, whether the student has understand what are the developmental trends in development, and trying to recall and trying to write down the answer for that. So it is just a level 2 question, and it is just mapping with the CO1 and CO2 of the courses that COs that we have designed earlier. Like this, if we go, then we can find out that there are several levels are attended here, and the entire paper if we analyze critically, I find out level 1 is also there. Okay, like here we have question number 4, where level 1 is also attended, where the student has understood the question, whatever question is asked, and also level 3. So the two things are simultaneously going on in the question number 4. And so question paper setter, when we are setting the paper, we find out in question number 4, when different parenting styles the examiner is asking, the student must know what are the parenting styles are there. And therefore, when it is when with reference to any two parenting style, that means the student has to analyze between the two. So if the parenting style 1 is slightly different than the parenting style 2, I think the level 3 of the Bloom's taxonomy is also attended, with its application as well as a part of analyzing is also there. So a little role of facilitator is increased, because while setting of the paper, we need to think over this, and then we find out the things are well properly arranged and organized in the question paper also. Otherwise, if your question paper is missing, because how do we find out the attainment ratio? How do we calculate the attainment? It is just on the basis of result analysis. When we check our papers, answer papers, okay, what the student has written, okay, whether the student, we have, suppose in physics paper, I say defined and explain. So I have understanding of level 1, and I have trying to check the level 1 is attended or not, or level 2 is attended or not. So if the student, some of the students are writing only definition and maybe an example, but not able to explain it critically. So maybe the student has not developed the application mind or analyze mind. And in that particular case, accordingly, the attainment of the CO is changing. So some of the students, which are very bright students, are attending everything. He's defining, giving the examples, analyzing, and applying also, which is what which was expected. And then in that particular case, the L1, L2, L4, all these levels are attended, and accordingly, CO1, CO2, or in fact CO4 is also attended. So for what we required is, critically, for those who are designing the CO1 to CO6 or etc., I think, according to me, what I have done in my department, I sat with my head of the department. We have a brainstorming in 22-23 when it was came into the NAC and AQAR, and roughly we sat for 7 days completely. And after 7 days, we come out with some conclusion how to design the program outcome first. And once the program outcome, program layout is there, we can go for the course outcomes. Then program specific outcomes are designed, because in our third year level, we have specific subjects where the electives are there. The student can specifically learn something, and there are certain specific outcomes also. So it is not a one-day task. Okay. I personally took several days to understand and design it, because once it is designed, it is going for the attainment of the student. So our design has to be up to the mark. Like, I'm not saying everybody is 100% perfect, but at least we should have that understanding of the levels of the Bloom's taxonomy. And accordingly, if those levels are covered within our COs and POs, then it is just a question of mapping of CO and PO. Okay. So I'll take just 1 minute about question number 9. Okay. Which is just a 5 marks question. It is, we have to, student has to attempt any two. Importance of maturation, merits of clinical method, interplay of poverty, etc., role of self-concept in this thing. So I find out, when I compare with the levels of Bloom's taxonomy, it goes with level 2. Question number 9A goes to level 2. Question number 9B goes to level 2. Question number 3 goes to level 3 and level 4. And question number 9D goes with level 3, level 4, and level 5, a part of level 5. So it is basically that the things that we are trying to understand from this triangle. So this is what we are basically interested in, what is exactly happening. And accordingly, we will be talking about the designing of COPOs and PSOs. Okay. So I hope you will go with this, and I hope till now it is clear whatever I am trying to help you out. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you can go with this thing, COPOs and this thing. Okay. Now, when we design COPOs, let me share it. How do I share? Okay, from here. So action verb table is important. Okay. Now, this is a very important thing. Now, when we want to map COPO and PSOs, okay, it is our expectation that the expert and expert teacher and the expert panel of that particular subject is trying to find out what would be the expected outcome of that particular course. So we know what is the courses and what can be the attributes of the course and what can be the final outcome of that particular course. So accordingly, we have designed CO, we have designed PO, and we have sometimes the PSOs are not required or not to be designed, or not the requirement of that particular course at a point of instant. But in many courses, PSOs are there. Basically, as sir said, that basically in engineering sciences and applied sciences, PSOs are there. In fact, the PSOs, the number of PSOs are more than the number of POs. Okay, in one of my subject also, when the student is in semester 6, the number of PSO is more than the number of PO. So basically what we do, according to the guidelines given by NBA and the NCRF, the structure is we have to have a scale of 0 to 4, 0 to 1, 0 to 3, sorry. In this case, 0 to 3, whatever we have the curriculum, we have Bloom's taxonomy, we have designed our COPOs or PSOs, and then we can correlate them with this particular scale. Okay, this is not still a micro level, it is at the macro level, because we are going into the integer pattern. It is jumping from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to like this. It is not going at the 0 0.5, 0 0.75, nothing like that. It will be more complicated. So not to go into that. So 0 to 1, 0 is if there is no correlation. Okay, so something like I have mentioned in my CO or PO, but I find out that there is no correlation. When I'm mapping them, there is no exact correlation, then I can mark 0. So later on, when I work on myself, as sir showed one cycle at the end of his presentation, okay, this PO or PSO is not actually correlated with any of the topic or any of the units in my course. Then next time I will improvise my PO or PSO accordingly. So if it is a slight correlation, we will mark 1. If it is moderate correlation, we'll mark 2, and if it's 3, if it is substantial correlation, it is 3. Like in most of the courses, we find out that, like here, if I go, not less. Okay. See here, basically, when I go with the CO1, okay, the learner will be able to examine the role of school in growth and development during the pre-adolescent and the adolescent stages. So here, this is a very common thing that every B.Ed student will understand in the very first year of his or her studies. So basically, it can be a direct correlation with the program. So when the student is actually using his skills, when he or she is doing his practical work or the demonstrating the lectures or taking the live sessions in the different schools. So the CO1, CO2 can have the direct relation or substantial relation with the POs. So when we have CO and POs together, so what we have done is basically we sat with COs and POs together, and then we started comparing. Like हमारा जो मेट्रो का, तुमने मेट्रो स्टेशन के ऊपर टिकट का चार्ट देखा होगा आपने. So whatever is this, station 1 on one side, station 2 on the other side. So it goes in the rectangle form, right? So if I am trying to get, I want to know that what would be the ticket fare, then I have to just map that thing. I have to just find out where I am now and where is my, I want to go. So accordingly, I will plan. So it is also the same thing. So I have CO in my hand, I have POs are ready with me, and I will read CO1, and I will see that CO1, how it is effectively matching with the POs that we have defined for courses in my overall program. So PO1 to PO9 or PO10, whatever may be. So there can be as minimum as 8 program outcomes, or sometimes, as UGC has mentioned in one of the literature, that can be as small as low as a 6 also. Okay, because COs can go up to 6 according to the Bloom's taxonomy. POs can also go up to 6, and then later on PSO may or may not be there for a particular course. But if I'm having more than 6 courses, it doesn't matter. Okay, only what has happened, the tedious work that we do will go on increasing. So PO, I am reading PO1 and I am comparing with CO1. I am reading PO2, I am comparing with CO2. So I try to find out what is the significance of PO1 with CO1, PO2 with CO1,
So the
PO3 with.
table is not visible, sir.
No, I'm going to that part.
Okay.
Okay. So when I'm going this, so I am trying to find out that whether it is no relation, whether it is substantial relation or like this. Okay. So now here comes the table, right? So this is just a raw table. It is not exactly mapped because I am not the expert teacher in that particular course, but it is taken the help from some and then tried to map the things. So it is an expert and the department who is handling that particular course will sit together and actually will map this. So you'll find out we have CO1 to CO6. So this first column, you see the first column, these are fixed. Okay. Then horizontal first row, it is inclusive of POs and PSOs. So we have 12 POs and 6 PSOs and all together. And then what I find out, okay, I find out significantly the CO1 is 100% or making a significant correlation with PO1 or vice versa. Whatever the objective of PO1 we have designed is already there in the CO1 or in the CO2 or in the CO3 and likewise. Because these are just the basic levels that I'm trying to understand, and therefore I just randomly said, okay, PO1 is attended everywhere. Okay, PO1 is just whatever the PO1 was decided by the expert with the department. Okay, this is attended for all the 6 levels of courses or the Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, so this is, therefore I mapped it with the 3 because we have said if it is a significant correlation, I'm saying PO1 is significantly correlated with all these 6 course outcomes. So I wrote it as 3. But somewhere if you find out here, PO5 was not significantly correlated with CO1. Okay, and therefore I found out, okay, it is even not moderately related with CO1, and therefore I find out that, okay, it is just it has some significance, not the moderate significance. So I marked here 1. And okay, sorry. And accordingly, I have read all these things. We have sat together and then we have find out what is the correlation of every PO with CO1, every PSO with CO1. You will find out that when we go for higher order POs, that is, as we go from the levels of Bloom's taxonomy and as we design the course, as we understand the levels of designing of a course, we find out in the beginning of this, everything is attended properly. But if you see here, most of the columns are 0. They do not have a significance, proper significance with the CO1. So PO11, I marked 0 because there is no significance. Like this, I find out there is something. So here, maybe PSO2. So PSO2, as I said, there is something written as classroom management. And then I find out, okay, something related to the
Sir?
hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah. Okay. That may be small network issue again.
It's okay, sir.
Yeah. So what I was talking about is PSO2, which is basically talking about the classroom management or something. And I find out that there is something is mentioned in the CO1 when the course outcome 1 is designed. So PSO2 is mapped with CO1 and the total weightage is given only 1. This way, the whoever is the expert can map every CO with every PO. or every CO with every PSO. So it is just a matter of mapping. It is our expectation as an expert or the course, when we are running the course, we expect that at the end of the program, what the learner is going to achieve. What is the outcome of this particular course? So if we go from 0 to 3 level, okay, this is the level which is given by NCRF. And when we find out, when we go for 0 to 3 level, 3 is the maximum level attended. So how far or how close we are that particular level? If any particular level is not properly attended, so that is also not clear idea how much should be the minimum level and how should be the optimized level, which is not clearly mentioned anywhere, or even I could not find it. But I find out that, okay, this is my program, this is my course. And with respect to this pattern, okay, I found out, okay, after completion of first year of child growth and this paper, childhood and growing up, the student or a learner will attain this, the CO1 attainment of that student expected come out to be 2.3. It is the course expectation that we have designed. Okay. So CO1, you just add all this thing, wherever zeros are there, don't count them. Okay. And just take a average, statistical average that you know how to take it. And then you add all these things, divide by the total number, you will get this particular number. So you have something on the right column where the average weightage of CO1 attended, CO2, CO3, CO4, like this. So some of the courses are may be having very good average weightage, but some of the courses may not have. And that, for that, we require a feedback analysis. And then from that, again, we recycle the things and we can redefine the POs, PSOs for better attainment. And we define the policy for that, that what can be done, what should be the action plan, so that the next level of attainment will be better than this thing. So this is just a rough idea. One can take the lesser numbers also for initial stages. Like when I was talking with when we were having the discussion with the Parhad sir, I was having discussion. That time Parhad sir has some different weightages. He has not taken 3 anywhere. Because if we take 3, I know the understanding this total weightage goes very high. So he has taken 1, 2, some many cases zeros not attended, and therefore his total is something different. My total is something different. It doesn't matter. So you expectation value, what is expected from the course and what is expected from the program can be estimated. So this is our estimated target, that okay, we want that. Sometimes it can be, earlier we used to explain this in the percentage form. Okay, what we used to say, suppose I have a batch of 40 students and we expect that our university result will have that out of 40 students, at least 60% of the students will have A grade, or will have maybe 50% of the students will have A plus grade, like this. So it is the grading system which we used to have earlier. Now we are trying to compute in the numbers, where we are analyzing this in terms of 0 to 3 scale. Okay, it is, we are writing, we are trying to see. So 2.3, some weightage. That means some percentage is correlated to that. It is expected that I am expecting that after completion of this program or particular program, my student will attain. What will the attainment of the CO1 of that program, when I consider a batch for that particular program, is 2.3 out of 3 scale. So this is actually a estimation level. That is what we say as a mapping level. And in that particular case, we have to, we may, it is designing is, of course, it is, of course, requires a some sort of understanding of the entire course and the entire program. And then after doing this, see, we should have proper, we should use our proper expertise so that we can assign these numbers properly. Okay. Otherwise, if I know that the course is moderately, or program is it's a bit of injustice, because unnecessary I am increasing the weightage, and then it will be very difficult in the next cycle when we design the course outcomes and program outcomes. So be sure about your own programs. outcomes and the course outcomes accordingly. So we have to sit together and we have to chart them accordingly. So you will have what is important, interesting part is uh, right hand side column, which is giving me the weighted average of all COs with respect to respective POs, and the lowermost line, which is in yellow color, as you can see, it is the average PO, average weighted PO, which is for all COs. So PO1 average is 3 because everywhere PO1 is significantly attained. Okay, there is a significant correlation between a PO1 with all the COs which are designed by us. Okay, so accordingly, we have all these things, and we have these numbers for our reference. The last column is the numbers that are there with our reference. Okay, so some of the courses are some of the program I have weighted output average is 3, and some of them are even you can see here PO6. It is only 1.00. Okay, it is only 1. So may not be all the everything is significantly correlated. So we have to think over it when next cycle, that what is the problem when we analyze the student, that we have a question in the question paper, we have the assignments, project work, internships, on job training or skill based something like vocational training, something, everything is there which can be correlated with the PO6. But the while seeing to the attainment, I find out, okay, the attainment, expected attainment is 1. So student an analysis of the student, I'm expecting that, okay, PO6 will be attainment is 1 everywhere. So average weighted value can be 1 also. So not every time it is 3. It can be as small as possible. As we do not know as on today that what can be the least value accepted, and what can be the highest, of course 3, because it is 0 to 3 scale, right? So this is first part. Second part is, this is done. Okay, so this was the old thing that we used to target the thing, right? So attainment is given. So when we have defined COs and when we have defined POs, this is very important, which is there in blue color. So we used to say, okay, I have designed CO and several POs. So what can be the final expected target achievement of the CO1? I'll say that if I have a batch of 40 students or 50 students, 70% of the student can easily understand, easily write the answers which are related to CO1. Okay, which I find out in the question paper also, which are according to the level of Bloom's taxonomy. So this is we are getting 3 things together now, actually 2 things. One is the course outcomes which are designed in accordance with the Bloom's taxonomy, which are labels are taken. And secondly, which we are mapping with the PO. And then we are expecting that CO1 to CO6, I am trying to get this. These numbers, don't take these as the final numbers. These are just, I am randomly writing what can be my target percentage of attainment of that particular CO. Because even though I wrote, it is very difficult to have 80% of attainment in CO6. Not possibly in the first stage is not possible, but somewhere we have to go for. So what is requirement for that? The requirement is we have 2 ways. One is called as a direct assessment, another attainment, or other is called as an indirect attainment. So what is a direct attainment? This is a second example. So in this case, as the levels are, we are taking the attainment levels are 0 to 3. So we, as an example, we say that, okay, if in a batch of X number of students, in a batch of certain students, if 60% of the students are scoring more than 70% marks allotted to particular CO, then I'll say it is a level 3. This is 60% design is decided by me as a subject expert, as that course expert. It is designed by me. If you think in your course that, okay, for a particular CO, a 70% student can score more than 70% marks. So if you think this should not be 60%, you want to say give the level 3, that out of the 40 students, if the 20 students are scoring more than 70%, you have to give the level 3. Okay, you can give level 3. Okay, this is actual mapping. This is actual attainment we have started now. Earlier was just a mapping. Now here we are trying to level up we want to level the things with respect to the analysis of the result, that we have decided that in my batch, in my course, out of total number of students, if 60% of the students scoring more than 70% of the marks allocated to that particular CO, then we will have the level 3. The score which is given to that particular CO will be level 3. Like, for example, I will say, in my particular case, I will say that CO1, I'm talking about the CO1, which is level 1 of Bloom's taxonomy, correlated to that. And I'm asking very simple question, like, what are the different types of forces? Okay, explain one example and with proper illustration. This is what the question, which is just a CO1 and CO2. These are the two things which student can attainment can be calculated, because it is not going for analysis, it is not going for evaluation, nothing is creation here. It's a very basic, simple level question. The student has defined what is force, student has defined the different types of forces, and out of the different types of forces, whatever he is remembering, recollecting, and out of that, whatever he understood, he is giving the example and illustrating the example. And I find out in my batch, I find out, okay, this particular CO attainment, out of my batch of 40 students, 32 students have got a very good percentage in that particular question. If the question is asked for 10 marks, many of the students are scoring 8 marks, 9 marks, and some of them are 10 marks. So if 32 students out of 80 are scoring this, that means it is crossing 60% of the students. Okay, 60% of the total student who are scoring 70% of the marks in that particular CO which is allocated. This way, we can design this threshold values: 60%, 50%, 40%, less than 40%. We have to mark 0, because less than 40% means it is actually failed, because 40% is minimum passing as far as what we know in our courses. So any student scoring less than 40%, and if the student, I give only 2 marks in that particular question, then CO is not that particular CO1 is not the attainment of the CO is not done, because student is not able to score 4 marks out of 10. It was very simple question. So I will mark for that particular student, I will mark the level 0 is attended. But if there are say out of 40, there are 17 students who have scored 70% of the marks of the CO. So I can write down level 1, and accordingly we can go. The lower things are, this is the old method which we are not focusing. So what is important is aim is to attain level 3. So in my course, what I am trying to see, that in a batch of my 40 student batch, at least 24 students should score more than 70% of marks in that allocated CO. Okay, so if I am saying about CO1 and CO2 for this particular question, is are 24 students scoring more than 7 marks in that out of 10? So if it is there, then I will give the score of level 3. Otherwise, if it is between 50 to 59, I will give level 2 and level 1. Okay, maybe little difficult. Okay, but once you understand this particular threshold values that you have to decide, don't go below 40%, because below 40% is not considered, because 40% is minimum passing. Okay, you can go as high as possible. Even I want to give level 3 as 80% of the students are scoring 70% of the marks. If the class is of that kind, doesn't matter. So in a particular course, you can give that 80% of the total student who have attempted that particular question are scoring more than 70% marks allocated to that CO. In a while, we'll come to know कि ये allocated to CO किधर होता है, कैसे दिखता है, that I'll come to that. But my goal after the course completion, my goal is that the student will attend level 3. That is, my course will attend level 3. That is, out of 40 students, 24 students will be at the higher level, scoring more than 70% of marks. So these both threshold values you can both change. I may say 80% of the students scoring more than 80% of the marks, or 50% of the students scoring more than 50% of the marks. This you can always change depending on the values that you want to calculate. And since there is no threshold actually designed or defined by any higher authoritating bodies, we are designing. But since minimum is 40% passing, we have started with 40%, 50%, and 60% of this. Okay, and particularly target percentage that I am taking today is 70%. That is what I am trying to find out what is my attainment level in that too. Okay, so I will minimize this, and now henceforth, what I'm going to do is I am going to explain, trying to explain you what is exactly what was I talking now. Okay, so I think till now everything is okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See here. So this is the working on the Excel actually. What is being done is the first of all, the analysis of question paper, as we have started after the Bloom's taxonomy. It is analysis of question paper. So you will find out. I hope you this it is readable.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because it is very difficult to copy paste in the PPT. So I thought of directly giving the explanation on the Excel sheet only. And there are programs also who can design. If any person who is a master of Excel, use of Excel, it becomes very easy job. It becomes little bit tedious because we are not using currently any software, but if it is there, then it becomes very easy. It is particularly the first line you see. It is the 1956 first levels of Bloom's taxonomy was declared, and in 2006 the revised Bloom's levels are redefined, and that is what we are taking today. So here you find out these are the levels that you see in the first row. Okay, this is what I am talking about. Okay, these are the L5, L2, whatever you are seeing here are basically from the question paper that I shared. Okay, this question paper. This is the university question paper. So I sat with the expert in the college, and then I found out, okay, this can be the levels. So first of all, we have to declare the levels. So revised Bloom's levels will be, you find out all the levels are there or not. Okay, according to the question paper, okay, there are 5 levels are there, and in certain questions, the mixed levels are also there. It is not particularly to a particular level, right? It is not only the level 2 means only understanding, level 3 means only applying the knowledge. No, it can be L2 and L5. So in question number 5, you can see here, in question number 5, you find out it is L2 and L5. I find out it is L2 and L5. That is understanding and analyzing. Oh, sorry, evaluating. So these are the two things combined together in question number 5. So basically the concept has to be understood properly, and then the student or learner can evaluate whatever the question according to the question. But in most of the questions, you will find out the single level of attainment is asked. Either it is L1 or L3 or L4 or L5. L6 is missing in the question. Okay, because there is nothing like a designing or redeveloping or something like. So it is only whatever is so straightforward up to level 5, it is asked in the question paper. Now let us come to the question number 1. Oh, whatever it was related to the school plays a significant role in the growth of development of a child. Justify. This was asked for 10 marks. This I am reading because I have a hard copy of question paper with me now. So here I found out that CO1 and CO2, which was designed with this particular course, in that first part, it is there. Okay. So if it is possible, I will try to show. 1 minute. Okay. According to the syllabus, this was something there in CO1 and CO2. So if we go with this, I find out CO1 and CO2 is level is attained, and then the question is asked for 10 marks. Okay, now what is this? We are considering the batch of 40. Okay, we are considering the batch of 40, that is as an example. Then we are trying to find out the attainment of 60-40 pattern. That means 60% of the total is for SEE, semester end examination, analysis based on semester end examination, which can be on behalf of university that colleges or institutes are conducting, or every semester is conducted by the university itself. So that can be done. Or and 40% is internal assessment, which sometimes we call it as a IAT, internal assessment analysis. And here in that particular total comes out to be 60 plus 40 is 100. And the third part of attainment is a indirect survey. So try to understand first. First is direct attainment, which we call as a DA, capital DA, which will, this terminology will come later in the next Excel sheet. DA. DA stands for direct attainment. Earlier, we used to call it as a direct assessment. It is a direct attainment. Now, what do you mean by direct attainment? Direct attainment means the score, the levels which we have evaluated or calculated for a particular learner, okay, using his or hers internal assessment, which we have conducted in the form of internal test, project work, assignments, or any other type of internal assessment criteria which is given by the or described by the university or by the course. So all these things are now certain colleges may have more than one internal test. So you have to again find out the weighted average of two. Suppose I'm taking internal test 1, internal test 2. That is IAT1, internal assessment test 1, internal assessment test 2. So every student is appearing for 2 internal exams, but that is under the common heading of internal assessment, IA. So what the course in charge will have to do, will have to find out what is the average of these internal assessment. So internal assessment 1 plus internal assessment 2 will not be on the same course, will not be on the same units. It can be of the different unit because it is comes under CIE according to the criteria number 2 of AQAR and SSR. So it is continuous internal evaluation. So I am trying to find out that internal assessment test 1 may be from unit 1 and unit 2 of my course, and internal assessment test for unit 3 and unit 4 of my course. And accordingly, I will see that the entire course is divided into 2 internal assessment tests, and that has to be averagely calculated. So you may come up with the assignments, projects, some skilled experiments or seminars, or maybe internships, or maybe something like as your course progresses, as your semester progresses, accordingly the BOS must have defined what can be the type of internal assessment. Okay, that is the second part. So what is direct assessment? Direct assessment is a combination of the semester end examination, the result or the score attainment by in the semester end examination, as well as the internal assessment examination. If it is a 60-40 pattern, then we take a formula with respect to 60-40. If it is a 75-25, we go with the 75-25 or any other type of pattern. Okay, so this was a one part, and second part is the exit survey that we will look into at the end of my session. Okay, now slightly I have to run because time is running ahead. Okay, so now let us focus on question number 1. In a batch of 40 students, because the question paper has given a choice. It is choice-based system also, credit system that we are implementing. So this has to be there. So out of first 8 questions, students has given a choice to attempt any 5. So when after analyzing of the entire paper of the result, when we find out, this becomes a very tedious job for us, that the question was asked for 10 marks, and out of 40 students, 38 students attempted that particular question. Okay, not all 40 students have attempted the question, only 38 students have attempted the question. And the result says that 25 students out of 38 students have scored more than 70% marks in that particular question. So it is just a random thing that I have created here. Okay, just a random thing. It may be you can take it from your exam department or something, and you will have the data sheet available for you, and where you can enter your marks question wise, and you can do with that. This is one way we can find out. There is another way for the direct assessment also. So this is the score. So this is basically the columns that I have made, that 5 and 1, and this is just a random numbers I have given. This is not much important just now. What is important is this. So CO1 and CO2 was the main outcomes, course outcomes of this particular question. The combined question, the combined things are asked, and therefore after complete attainment of this, when student is attending, CO1 and CO2 levels are can be calculated. So the examiner evaluator has given more than 7 marks for 25 students. Okay, it is again a subjective subjective things that we can have another challenge on this, that how examiner can give, etc., etc. Let us not talk on to that. So according to the result analysis, out of 38 students, 25 students have given more than 7 marks. So we have made a threshold earlier, right? In the previous slide, 60% of the students, if they are scoring more than 70% of the marks, let us write down the level 3. So let us calculate. Okay, let us calculate of this. So I'll have a calculator here. So what I'll do, 25 divided by 38 is equal to, I find out, if I convert this into percentage, I find out it comes out to be 66%, nearly. 66% of the students are scoring more than 7 marks. That is more than 70% in my in that particular question. So 66% means I can say level 3 is attained. So attainment level is 3. So what we have done, see here, I have taken this 3. Okay. So here 3 and here also 3, because CO1, CO2 both 7 marks means both the COs are quite attained by the student. Then likewise, you go to the question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, and all these questions. Okay. And in question number 9, you will find out there are 4 different questions asked at 4 different levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Naturally, different COs are covered. So I have taken, after reading the question paper, I have taken 9A is basically importance of the maturation. Okay, something like that. So it is just remembering and understanding of the Bloom's. Basically, it is remembering. So I have taken this as a level 1. See here, you find out it is a level 1, and it is directly correlated with the CO1 of this particular course. Then if we go to the question number 9B, this is 9 and this is 9A, this is 9B. Okay, and then I find out this goes to the CO4 level and so on. That way we have analyzed. I have analyzed. This may be wrong. You are expert in this particular course, so you can have some separate analysis also on the basis of the question paper. Okay, so now likewise we will go ahead. So in question number 2, not all have attempted the question number 2. Okay, and question number 2 is related to CO1 and CO2 only, because it is a direct understanding level question where CO1 was also a part of question, CO2 also part of question. And for both, I find out that out of 31, only 15 students have scored more than 7 marks. Okay, so again, the calculator, and we find out here that 15 divided by 31 is 48%. 48% is less than 50%. So what were our levels? Our levels, I'll just recall again. So we are again on the level 2, that recalling what we are going to do. We have said more than 60% and above, level 3, 50% to 59% or up to 60% level 2, 40% to 49 point something is level 1, and less than 40% is 0. So this is so clear and so standard. So remembering that, I find out this comes out to be 48%. 48% is less than 50%. So I am just taking this level attainment is only 1, right? And this way we are going for every question with this. Okay. And initially this seems to be a tedious task. Of course, it is a tedious task. But once the result is analysis is done, you are expert of Excel, then it becomes a very easy. Of course, you have to devote some time for that. And once it is done, then the result that you get is very much interesting results. Okay, so this level attainment, at least the first 2 rows, once the paper is out, or once you have set the paper, you know what are the levels of the Bloom's taxonomy, and what are the course outcomes are designed into are asked into the paper, that you can easily make a note of this. You know how many, what are the questions, how are the questions are asked, what are the sub question level, and accordingly you can make this thing. After this, if you make this number of students who are attempting all these questions, if you have that data, in fact we require all those data, and if the department is maintaining that data, then we can easily find it out. Okay, in fact we need to have such type of broadsheets available for the each paper or each course, so that every student's individual data can be analyzed very quickly. Okay, so this is the one part. Okay, I hope I'm going well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So total strength is required. How many students are appearing in the exam is required. How many students out of appeared students are attempting that particular question or that particular unit is required. And on the basis of that, you have to find out that what is the threshold value of those questions or the courses or the levels that you are decided. So I am deciding today it is 70%. You might have decided it is 60% only. So naturally, if it is a 60%, then wherever it is level 2 or the borderline cases can go to the level 3 also, when it is for the level for the 60% of the course attainment. So it is initially you design the threshold values, you design the threshold percentage of the for the attainment level. Okay, so if the course, you think the course is really difficult, then you can take the threshold values are at a lower level. I can say that let 55% of the total students scoring or 60% of the total students scoring more than 50% of the marks. So see, I have changed both. Okay, I have a total strength of say 50 students. Now I am saying 50% of the total students scoring 50% of the marks. So I am lowering down the scale initially to find out how much is the attainment that we know, that we can estimate. This is an estimation level initially that we have done. And it is quite possible that the attainment by the students or by the batch may be much better than what is expected. So at the end, we will, after analysis, we can write it down that expectations are matched, below expectations, above expectation, everything that recommendations can be given for next analysis for the next year's batch or the next year curriculum when we do it again for the next same semester, same course next year. So that becomes our threshold value for next year analysis. That cycle keeps on going. So therefore, initially I am taking this particular threshold as on today, and then I am finding out what is happening. Okay. So see I am just copying down this particular part. This is what highlighting I'm told just now. This particular part here, just to avoid a confusion, I am just copying down here. This is what we have copied. Sorry.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes.
So in the above table, just please go to the above table. Yeah. So what are these below the question number 1? You have put some numbers. No, what are those numbers?
These are the random numbers I put. That suppose I have a question, okay, and I am saying that basically this I said random, right? But suppose you have this number of students, right? This side, and here this I basically I am writing the marks which are scored by the student. Okay.
Okay.
We are analyzing somebody is correcting the paper, right? And then we are giving the marks. These marks are not exactly matching with the data which is there in the above. Okay, this is just the random marks that I have shown.
But
so,
sir, this is question 1. So how can Aditya get 5 and 1 marks?
Okay. Now what I have done is it is basically see, I have out of 10 marks, I know how much mark to be given for the CO1 and how much to be CO2, right? Okay, overall CO1 and CO2 is attainment is done because the student has scored more than 70%. Okay, so these
so
marks.
Excuse me, sir. It means Aditya got 6 marks for question number 1, correct?
Yes.
Just you have divided it 5 marks for and
Ha.
CO1 and 1 mark is for CO2, correct?
Yes, yes. What has happened, you know? First, I prepared this raw table, and yesterday, I got the question paper. So suddenly, some changes are not been done. But if suppose 7 marks, Aditya got 7 marks, and then here I am writing some marks, here I am writing some marks, right? So total goes 7. Here it is, suppose I am making it 2. So Aditya is scoring 7 marks now, right? So out of 10, Aditya's score has 7 marks. And because it is out of 10, because the university paper has not two distinct part of the question, so I am giving CO1 3 and CO2 is also 3 because of this particular threshold value. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Or there is a one way, I'm going much more on the micro level. You can go with this thing. What I can do is, I will not write this 5 2, 5 3, 3 5, nothing. What I will do, I will just write 7 8 3 2, whatever marks are scored by the number of students. That's all. Is clear?
And also one more observation is about the 9A, 9A, 9B, 9C, 9D, no?
Yes, yeah.
So these are optional questions. Actually, only 2 they are supposed to answer.
Yes.
But if you see the number of students who have answered, so they have attempted more than 2 questions.
Yes, yes. Madam, you take this as an example. Okay, madam, you take this as an example because actual result sheet is not with me, right?
Okay.
So this is created as a raw data. This is not the factual data. This is a raw data. And on the basis of a raw data, we have just randomized certain numbers, right? Even I have not taken all 40 students also. Okay, so randomly I am taking certain numbers just to understand what is and how to find out the attainment level of the student with respect to the Bloom's taxonomy as well as with respect to the course outcome levels. This is just a representation. So my request is don't actually or physically compare with the number of students and whatever number I have written here. It's just a raw data, just to understand what is happening and how it is going. If we want, we can do it, but it will take time.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, because otherwise the actual result is required. Analysis of result is required, right? So randomly, I cannot write down key, okay, question number 9, how many students have actually attempted question number 9? Because it is a compulsory question as per the university paper. Question number 9 was compulsory paper, compulsory question. So I find out in this question number 9B, all 40 students have attempted the question number 9B because it was compulsory question.
Sir, madam's question is like question number 9, A to D. The student has to attempt only 2. So
Yes.
this particular student, Aditya, will be getting only 2 scores, no, sir? Actually, when
so I can make it 0.
Yeah.
I can make that. I said
that was the question. Sir.
This you can make 0, or you can write down here NA. Okay. That is the way. Right. So Aditya has attempted question number 9A, given 5 marks. Question number 9B, and he has also awarded with the 5 marks. Okay. Now, this is...
And actually, sir, that question carries maximum of 9 marks, no? So,
no.
Maybe the
question number 9, attempt briefly any 2 of the following, total 10 marks.
Totally maximum 5 for 1 question. So
5
total,
for 1 question.
So,
5 for 1 question.
We don't get full 5.
So the student normally we give only up to 4 marks, 80%. So that's the actuality I'm saying, sir. Actual practice, right?
Okay, here I can make a day. So accordingly, if I have a proper result with me, then I can write down like Aditya is attempting question number 9A, 9B. Ayushi is attempting question number 9A and 9D.
That's fine.
Okay. So this is the way that we have to just go through it. Okay. So it is just because of the last moment preparation, the 9A and 9D entries are done. Okay. It is only I read that question number 9 was compulsory. So you will find out these numbers are more.
That's okay, sir. Now it's clear that part.
It's clear, right? Thank you for pointing out my mistake. Okay. So this table was same thing. 38 students attempting. Okay, maximum marks for that particular question was 7 out of 10. Number of students scoring more than 70% marks, 25. And just now we have calculated the percentage of the students who are scoring more than 70% of the marks in that particular question is 65.78. Is it clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, this 65%, see here, I have taken out this particular table from my PPT. If 60% of the students score more than 70% of the marks allotted to that particular CO, then mark attainment level as 3. So this is 65.78%, which is more than 60%. So we have stated earlier that this question number 1 is comprising of CO1 as well as CO2. So CO1 attainment level is 3. CO2 attainment level is also 3. Are you getting this point? From here, the attainment level has started.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this, as I said earlier, this we have to decide. As an expert, we have to decide that whether are you going to take 50% of the total strength or are you going to get 80% of the total strength. Then actually, if I write down here 80%, okay, then definitely this will not go into the level 3. This mark, the CO1 and CO2 will not go into level 3, right? So it is our expectation as well as whatever the paper that we have set or whatever the paper that university has sent. So accordingly, we will be taking, okay, in a batch, in a course, on an average, 60% student can score more than 70%, or on an average, 50% of the student can score more than 70%. Okay. And if the exams are much more critical exams like entrance exams where all these taxonomy levels are not attended, but if I'm talking about those entrance exams, then there they think that the level of attainment should be more. So in that case, this threshold values may be changing. Okay. So in PPT, you may be finding this 60%, 50%, and 40% and something. What I'm going to do is, here again, I'm having a small typing mistake. Okay, I'll make this change. This is 40. Okay, so this is right. So this is 40% to 49% of the total students, then level 1, 50 to 59% level 2, and more than 60% level 3. So accordingly, we have calculated all these percentages. Okay, these percentages. You can go with the table above and you can find it out. And then we find out this 65.78% level 3 of CO1 and CO2 is attained. Then here 48.33. 48.33 comes out to be here. Between 40% to 49%. So for question number 2, CO1 attainment is 1. CO2 attainment is also 1. Right? So this percentage calculation is important now. Now here in this case, this may be question number 3. Here CO2 was there and it is 57.14%. 57% comes out to be between 50% to 59%. So level of attainment is equal to 2. Likewise, you can go ahead. Okay, something is automatically coming, taking some formula, but assume that this is there. Okay, so likewise, I have written all the attainment levels of CO1 to CO6, whichever are there according to the question paper, and these attainment levels are calculated. Okay. Something automatically this particular program is calculating. So just ignore this particular part. Is it clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what we have to do, see, all these red mark tables, okay, this must be CO1 also here. You have to take a weighted average of this 3 plus 1 plus whatever it is, find out that weighted average and write down here. So course-wise attainment level comes out to be 2.33. Then here are the percentages. Wherever the CO1 is there, you can take the average of all these percentages and find out this weighted average of here and write down here. That was the old method, right? So CO1 attainment according to this particular random table and raw data, we are getting this as 2.33. CO2 is 2.25, CO3 is 2, CO4 is 1.5, and so on. Okay, this is what we have calculated, right? So currently what you just try to understand is that with respect to the result analysis of the student, we have calculated the attainment levels of the 6 COs that we have designed earlier and mapped with the POs. And in that particular case, with respect to the question paper and the result, we could find out the total attainment of CO1 is 2.33. Okay, and now I'll go back to my PPT again. Okay, not this. Slide number 13, I want to go. See here. Can you see this number? 2.3. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So our estimated target value was 2.3 because it was designed before exam, right? Before taking everything, right? This was targeted that, okay, once the course has been taught to the student, student is preparing and going for the exam. And after the result, what is I'm getting now? 2.33, right? So it is very close to my estimation level. Is it clear? Because university paper I was not knowing earlier when I was designing all this thing in the month of somewhere June, July, August, and paper was after Diwali or something, or maybe at the end of a year. But earlier I was estimated the CO1 value that if any type of question paper is asked, the student can be able to perform and then attainment can be close to 2.3, right? So this is what we tried to estimate, and accordingly we have done it. So if I take this, suppose CO3, according to the paper analysis and result, we find out it is 2. Now, what was there here? CO3, it was 1.7, right? See here, it was 1.7, and now we are getting here, it is 2. So are you getting the idea what was mapped earlier and what is happening after the result? Are you getting this idea?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is what it is expected. And that is why the designing is more important. That's what are the levels of designing that we are framing. Okay. So I request everyone to go to the NCRF UGC website, read the guidelines, and accordingly find out the different attributes of your own courses. And from that, you will get a better idea about designing of COPOs and in case of PSOs. Okay, so once your COs and POs are well designed, okay, it is there proper. When you are having the proper correlation between them, then even though the result analysis is done later on, the most of the times your expected value will match with the attainment level of after the result analysis. That is what the one of the my observation is. Okay, but if you might initially underestimate the student. So you are saying that, okay, no, I should not give this thing. Okay, I'll go back to this. I think that, okay, the student performance we do not know, batch performance we do not know, and instead of this 3, I will write 2. Okay, so it was initial, right? It is the designing that I am doing as a course expert, and here I have made 2. So naturally, if I take this 2 and if I go the average of this row, it would not be 2.3. So it is possible that as a designer in the beginning and during the mapping point, I may be underestimating the batch. Doesn't matter. It may be an initial stage and I may be designing, and then I'm saying that, okay, whatever was designed and whatever expected, the result analysis proves that it is more than expected value. Okay, or the expectation is achieved. This is the way that we can make a report that CO1 expectation level is achieved. Okay, then CO3, as I was mentioning, it is CO3, particularly this raw data helped us in a different way. This CO3 attainment level from the semester and exam analysis says it is 2. And what is there here? It was 1.7 in this case, right? It was 1.7. So while designing part, I might be underestimating that. that the student may not be able to attend the CO3 level more than 2. Okay, that was my estimated value, my target value. Okay, that in a batch, out of 3 scale, 1.2, 1.7 will be the scale value by the students to complete the course, right? So this is the things that we are matching together, and then these are the percentages. So these are the rough percentages, that all these are not exactly there. Therefore, I have marked them with the red color, that may not be exactly matching with the value if you try to calculate. But just go ahead with this and you can find out this percentage levels can be done. So what we have done here, earlier, if you remember in one of the slides, I have mentioned CO1 is 70%. CO2 is something 75%. And then I find out that this percentage level is something different. Okay, because we are not going on the percentage level. We are going on this particular scale, 0 to 3 scale. So basically, we will be focusing on this particular points of attainment. Okay, so is this clear? This is all about a semester end examination.
Yes.
So
sir, the average attainment achieved will be 2.33 divided by 3 into 100. That one?
not like way.
51.9?
This is just a 1/3 part we have done just now today.
Okay.
Only
No,
1/3.
this 61.9, how did you get this answer?
This answer, it is here. We have already calculated the percentage, right? Here. CO1, CO1, CO1. Okay.
Yes, understood.
So weighted average of these values. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But what has happened, why this percentage has gone down? My understanding says, because here, along with CO1, there is a CO2, there was a CO2 also.
Yes.
So micro level, I have not separated this out of 65.78%. What was the percentage of CO1 and what was the percentage of CO2? So that micro analysis is still difficult, but let us not do that. So this is the percentage that we have done. Okay. So if I make the formula here and if I add them and statistically auto sum I do here, I can get the idea for that. Right. So can we move ahead?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
That for university exam, we don't get the bifurcation of their question-wise marks, right?
Yes.
So how will we come to know about it?
Then we have. I will go at the end and I will tell you what can be done for that case.
Okay, thank you, sir.
This is first stage, which is explained by NCRF or NBA. So which was like it is tedious also, lengthy also, too much of calculation also. So for university and exams, all these things are not into calculation only. We are there. How many students of our batch are attended the exam? How many students are scoring and what are their grades? That is the only data we have. So we can have another method to go for that. Okay, I'll come to that point very soon. Now let us go to the internal examination. Okay. Here is one assumption made that a batch size is 40, attainment count is 40. That is, all 40 students have appeared for the internal exam. Whether internal exam is a single test exam or it is a multi-stage exams, assignments plus seminars plus internal, whatever way you are taking. Okay, all the students have attempted all the exams and their average out of all the type of tests that you have taken, you have given the marks out of 40 that Aditya is scoring average of 29 marks out of 40 in all possible tests. Okay, likewise, I am writing this and then I find out all 40 students, whatever internal marks I am giving, all 40 students are scoring more than 70% of the marks. Okay, it may not be the case everywhere. I am directly maximum optimization I am doing with respect to CO1 to CO6 that we have designed earlier, along with the Bloom's taxonomy level 1 to level 6. We are designing the internal assessment test. We are giving them assignments. We are preparing the test papers, maybe of 10 marks, 20 marks, and then we are finding out the average of this. So I am taking 20 marks ka 2 test. So 20 marks test 1, 20 marks test 2, and then I am finding out what is the total of this 20 plus 20. That is a one way. Second way is that some colleges may go for the average of that marks, or some colleges or institutes may be adopting the technique of going for best of two. That is also possible. So whatever it is, I am taking that. We have calculated all the CO1 to CO6. We have taken one test, and then the marks are, that is, my question paper is covering the question which are belonging to the course outcome 1 to course outcome 6. That is why I have not prepared a separate table here. And then so it is like very simple. I have a if I want to say the what do you mean by define clinical method? Just a simple exam question for 1 or 2 marks. Define clinical method. So it is just a level 1 of Bloom's taxonomy. It is just a definition, understanding and recalling the knowledge, and then accordingly it mapped with the CO1. And then my paper, internal exam paper, will have maybe having 10 questions, maybe having 20 questions, but covering all the course outcomes according to that particular course. Okay. So in my physics paper, when we are going for semester 1 exam, naturally level 6 is not there for the course semester 1 students of physics, FI BSc students, because they are just at first 3 levels of Bloom's taxonomy. But every course outcome has some understanding and recalling part of course outcome. So therefore, we have set the question papers of or we have given assignments in such a way that the 6 course outcomes are attained by the students. If particular student is not attending, then accordingly the marks can be mentioned. And these marks we can calculate because these are internal exams. So the broadsheet is with us, with department only, and we can find it out the overall result. So this is, we are optimizing that all the students are scoring more than 70% marks. 40%, 40 students are there. All 40 are present for the test, successfully scoring some more than 70% of marks. And then what is the attainment level? Because it is 100% of the students scoring 70% of the marks. As we have a benchmark in the previous slide, previous Excel sheet, that if more than 60% are scoring more than 70% marks, then attainment level is equal to 3. So we have marked here 3. Attainment level is 3, right? So this is a one way. Okay. Otherwise, the other 2 ways I have explained, but not prepare a table here because it will become a lot of time consuming, and really it should have been the more than 2-3 days also. Okay, so let us go with this thing. So now what is our pattern? The pattern of attainment is 60% semester end exam and 40% of internal assessment. Okay, 60% semester end exam and 40%. So what is the formula given? The formula given is 0.6%, 0.60% means 0.6, 0.6 multiplied by external attainment plus 0.4 multiplied by internal attainment. Okay. So here you see the same table I have carried forward from previous Excel. This was here. 2.33, 2.25 up to 1. This is I have just copy pasted here. And you find out that this table gives me the course-wise attainment level in what? In semester end examination, right? That is, we have calculated this CO1 attainment 2.33, not for the 100% attainment of the course. It is only 60% part of the course, because 60% weightage was given to the external examination and 40% is given allocated to the institutes for internal examination. So we have CO1 is 2.33. So what is a very simple thing that we have to do? One is just to hold. Okay. So we have 0.6 of CO1. What was CO1? It is 2.33. So I will have a bracket 0.6 of 2.33, bracket close, plus we have another bracket 0.4 of, see, attainment level of internal, it is 3. So I'm multiplying by 3. Where it is 3. Okay. Equal to, I think something went wrong. Okay, I have to calculate separately. Okay, here I have mentioned why to calculate. Just go for this. Okay, this is what, let me enlarge this. Okay, see this 0.6 of 2.33. Okay, where was 2.33? 2.3 was here. The course attainment of CO1 at the level of semester and examination was 2.33. So 0.6 of 2.33 comes out to be 1.398, which you can take it as a 1.4. And internal assessment, definitely the level is given 3. So 0.4 of 3, which comes out to be 1.2. Just add this, you will get this number. What has happened? Internal assessment has suddenly increased the level of total attainment of CO1. Okay, when it was semester and examination only, it was 2.33 and matching with the expectation level. But when all the students are scoring more than 70% and level of attainment is 3, it is just a raw arrangement that I have made today. Okay, just for the sake of explanation. But if it is different, then naturally it will not be this thing. Okay, so therefore, currently in our case, we are getting this attainment level is going 2.59. Okay, it is close to 2.6. Okay, likewise, you can calculate for CO2. Take the attainment value 2.25 from the previous, multiply it by 0.6, add 0.3 of 0.4, and then get the value of the CO2, CO3, and up to CO6. This is a way that we can find it out. Okay, so what is happening here in this particular case, because of the internal assessment, which we have given maximum marks to the maximum number of students, the attainment level is increased. But even if the internal assessment shows that the attainment is not 3, the average attainment comes out to be 2, naturally all these values will be decreasing. Okay, this is just because of the raw example. I am getting all the values are increased. I hope it is clear now up to certain extent.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these values 2.59, 2.55, whatever, these values I have taken here. Okay, I have taken here. So what is my direct attainment here for semester and examination plus internal examination combined? Here I have mentioned final CO attainment of the course is coming out to be 2.59 or 2.6 for CO1 and 1.8 for CO6. This is the half part we have done now. Okay, direct assessment. Now, how to calculate the final assessment now, which is also comprising of the CO-PO, because CO attainment is done. Now, PO and PO-SO attainment has to be done. Okay, so see this table I have carried forward here. This was the previous table just now that we were discussing about. Okay, these are the new values that we are getting, that you have to take this. Now, what is this? What is this we have done? If you see this number, okay, this is nothing but a table that I have copied from my PPT. This is from slide number 13. These were the values. Okay, if you remember. And this is the same table that I have taken here. And then same values I have mentioned here. We have taken here PO6 was 1 and something like that. Okay, so this is just to recall what was the table. I have just copy pasted here. Now, let us go for one thing. This is applicable for both. Okay, now see, there was a question that in semester and examination we do not know question wise marks for each student because we are getting direct result. Okay, this calculation is good for both in that particular case as well as for semester and exam, which we are correcting the paper for semester university exams. Okay, if it is a college level exams, we are papers with us and we can make that micro analysis. Okay, so now what we have done is CO attainment calculation. See, the batch size is 40. I'm taking target percentage is 60. Okay, these are two parts, direct attainment and DA and IA, direct assessment and indirect assessment, and then we have a survey. So here, this is SEE, this is internal, and this is survey, exit survey. That there are many questions related to your course are already available on the net and also defined by NCRF. You can find out or you can design those questions for the exit survey. Now, what is exactly the exit survey? Exit survey means once the course is done. Suppose the first year student has done this particular course of childhood and growing up. Then after the result, you have to take a survey from the students who are going from first year to second year. You may take a Google form, or you may have some another format of taking that survey. And from that survey, you take a report of that how many students has actually given the survey, and how many students are have actually, you have to design that particular question account. Just now, I do not have an example to show, but there are many examples available on the net. You can find it out. Okay. So what I have done is I have taken the target percentage is 60. So suppose I have a broadsheet which is received from the university, and I have my broadsheet also, which is prepared at college level. So university and examination, I find it out. So I will write SEE here. And I have internal assessment. So I know currently I am taking that overall for an overall batch. Okay, for overall batch, I find out that there are 22 students scoring more than aggregate 60% in semester and examination. Okay. So earlier was calculation with respect to every question. Now it is overall calculation for the this particular university semester and examination. I find out 22 students are scoring more than 60% of the marks. And I know in internal assessment, all the students have scored more than 70% of the marks. So I have write down here all 40. So let us take a percentage of this. If I find out this particular value, 22 divided by 60, if I do, no, not 60. It is batch of 40. It is 0.55, that is 55%. So this is 55. What is 55? Is it crossing my threshold value that we have designed earlier? No. What I said, 60% of the students scoring, right? So it is not crossing. So it is only 55% of students are there. So what is the attainment level? Attainment level is 2. So we have, since this particular thing is a combined part. Okay, this is a direct method and survey is an indirect method. Okay, so this is a combined part. So therefore, I am using two another variables, A and B. A is 2 because it comes out to be 55%. B is 100% because every student is scoring more than 60% or 70% in the internal assessment. So B is 3. And then what we have done is, see here, this particular part with respect to this SEE and IA. So what is a direct attainment level? 0.6 of A plus 0.4 of B. It comes out to be 2.4. So you have A, what is the A value? 2. What is the B value? 3. So A is nothing but what? A is nothing but 55% of the total students in the batch are scoring more than 60% marks. That is your A value. What is B value? B value is the attainment level of all the students who are scoring more than 60 or 70% in internal assessment. So that we have defined earlier for 70%, right? So therefore it is B is equal to 3. So let us multiply here. 0.6 of 2 is 1.2. 0.4 of 3 is again 1.2. So addition will give me 2.4. Okay. Now, indirect attainment based on survey. Indirect attainment, that is this part. Okay. In this case, what is done? So what I have done, I have prepared a Google form. I have a set of questions which is covering CO1 to CO6, and this can be simple questions that whether I'm framing the question like this: after the completion of this course, which is the common phrase, and then I am able to understand the working of forces. I am able to understand different kinds of forces. So, and then I am making 0 to 3 scale for every question, and that whatever the student has responded, accordingly the average weightage is calculated. Okay, so this is the calculation. So just because of the time constraint, I'm just running little ahead. Okay, but it is very simple because once you prepared a Google form, after getting the responses, Google itself calculate everything for us. We don't have to worry about what is that particular part. So what we have done, we have find out that after the survey, 30 students out of 40, okay, here, okay, 30 students out of 40 are actually responding, which is an indirect method, actually responding that, okay, they have understood whatever questions that you have raised. A particular student in my course saying that he or she has understood the different types of forces. So he is marking, he is giving the scale of 3 there. Okay, so he is striking out 3 points there. Or when I say, I frame another question that after understanding the different forces, I am able to apply it for different machines. Okay, so student is, if it is a real student or is very serious about the studies, then most of the time student will be giving the true answer, and we have to faith on the answers which are given by the student. So, and many of the students they may not respond only, but if we force them, then the student is saying that, okay, he understood the thing, therefore he marked 3 level there. But when the question he said, okay, I am able to understand, sorry, I am able to apply the concept for different machines, and their student is saying I am marking only 1. So I am not asking yes or no, I am giving all the answers in terms of 0, 1, 2, 3. So student has to just tick mark out of 0, 1, 2, and 3. And that can be calculated from the different responses. You can find out percentage of for every response and for every answer also. From this, we can get this. So currently what I have done is, I have taken that the percentage coming out to be 30, that is 30 students have responded, and most of them are going for 3. And therefore, I have marked this 100%. So C value is coming 3. So indirect survey that I have conducted after, which is also called as the exit survey, which plays a certain role. This exit survey score is coming 3. So that we have marked here. So what is total CO attainment? The total CO attainment comes out to be that 0.8 of direct attainment level and 0.2 of survey method. That is indirect attainment level. Okay. So we are having here 2.4, which we have calculated what the direct attainment. Direct attainment is what? It is the attainment of the student in the semester end examination. Okay. This number you can get directly from the broadsheet of the university that you are receiving after the result analysis, or you can make it from your college and level, that how many students have scored more than 60%, more than 70%, more than 80%. That result analysis every department is doing. So that number you can take. Only select the threshold value properly to get the proper attainment. Okay. So with this, how to calculate that final CO attainment? CO attainment finally is 0.8 of direct attainment, that is based on semester and examination and internal assessment, and 0.2, that is 20% of the indirect course attainment, which comes out to be 2.52 for the data that is taken as a raw data. And we have calculated the final CO attainment for all combined come out to be 2.52, which is very high according to me, because if for the current present year it is 2.5, then the threshold value for next year would be 2.52. Then it would be very difficult for me to always find out this 2.52 number for every batch. So accordingly, the mapping can be done, and then we have to go for that. Okay. I hope it is clear now. Now,
So one question,
yes,
sir.
yes,
Sir, in this 80 and 20% is fixed for direct and indirect?
yes, it is fixed.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
This is not changed. This is a fixed value. So for out of 100% attainment, the 80% weightage is given for the direct attainment level, which we are assessing the students either by the semester end examination and or by the internal assessment. So 80% weightage is for that, and 30% survey, because the survey, all the student may not give you the true answer. Okay. So that is why only 20% weightage is given to that part. Right.
Okay.
So,
Ma'am had a question.
yes.
Shruti ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, sir, we just wanted to know where this 0.8 is coming from. We are not clear about
80% and 20% you said.
See,
why we are taking that 80%.
This is a formula given by NBA. First
Okay.
point.
Okay.
Second point is if I am assessing a particular student, okay, it will be up to 100%, not more than that. Right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when it is 100%, So currently, as per the, because as sir has pointed out something in his presentation, that particularly NBA is this is calculated with respect to industries. If any particular product is there in the market, then from the market survey is taken, right? Suppose I purchased an iPhone, then definitely from the manufacturer or maybe from the dealer, I am getting one message: kindly fill up the following form. And then there are certain questions, right? So such type of things are coming from NBA. And that is why these are directly adopted currently in the analysis part, this particular part. Okay, it is as per that particular trend that they are following. So it is, since it is given to us, we are also following. But I am not sure about whether this survey part is, which we called as an exit survey or indirect attainment level, is always true, because many of the students are not giving the true answers, and then whatever their response is, currently we have to take them as a true and we have to go ahead, right? So it is basically for that. Is it clear according to your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So it is quite possible, once the new education policy, national education policy is implemented, that point 2 is also gone and it will be purely on the direct attainment level. Okay, that can be there. But for that case, in that I have heard something that this survey, they are going to convert into another format, that with student is going for internship, for project work, for field visit, then he or she has to get the certificate from that entrepreneur or from that particular industry, and on the basis of that, the employer, that particular industry is going to give a survey about that student, which is going to be the part of C now. That is what I heard. I am not sure about it, so don't take it as a final statement. But I'm sure this can be the another method. Instead of taking the survey from the student, everybody is now, according to the new policy, everybody is now going for field work, project work, or something, some other way, some industrial visits. So survey can be done from the industry, and so that it can be a real survey which can be calculated later on. Okay. So this is my.
Sir, sorry
Yes,
to
sir.
disturb.
Yeah.
Sir, let us take a view from the participant, whether
Okay,
we are
sir.
going for PO-PSO attainment or it will be done next time, because we have to take their questions also in
Okay.
general.
Yes,
Huh?
sir. Half a minute I required. Half a minute.
So then it's okay, sir.
Sir, we have calculated COA, that is a final attainment, whether it is done with the help of your actual marks scored per question or by this. Then this is a formula again defined by NBA only. PO-PSO attainment is equal to CO attainment, that we know from the previous table, multiplied by CO-PO mapping. So we have that my table which I had here, this table. And then what is the formula? Divided by maximum correlation strength. What was the maximum correlation strength? It is 3. So if you see here, just a half a minute I'll take, you'll see CO1, when it is mapped with PO1, I have given attainment, estimated attainment was 3, right? Now my value came out to be 2.52, which I am taking at 2.6, right? Now this is coming out to be CO1 correlated with PO1, and then 3 of 3 will be coming out to be 1 only. So for this answer, I'm writing 2.6. Accordingly, all these things I have calculated. And then final attainment of PO with respect to CO is calculated here. This is the last line. Okay. If you need later on some other time, we can go ahead with this. And this is the final thing that one can go with the formula to write down the answers. This is the final report. These last two tables are the final two report tables that we have to use for our final analysis. Rest all are our calculations before we go for the final statement. And after this, we have two things. One is the policy, that what if the attainment level is not up to the expected mark? What if the student is absent for the exam? That is the gap analysis, which is a different way of taking another schedule to calculate for that, because it cannot be done with this, because first of all, this is very tedious. I think from my side, I have done maximum thing and tried to cover up maximum thing as far as my understanding goes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
If anybody has any question, please feel free to ask the presenters.
Sir, just wanted to ask. Hello.
Yes, yes,
So, I just wanted to ask that whatever you have calculated is for one paper, right? One
yes, yes,
subject.
yes, yes.
Okay. So, are the calculations over? Only so much we have to do?
Uh,
Or
thi-
is there anything more that you had to complete?
no, this is whatever you have done for this course. Suppose you have 4 papers, then you have to go for 4 papers. Are you getting?
Uh,
Like suppose in my subject in physics, semester 1, student is appearing for course 1, which we call as a physics paper 1, and course 2 as physics paper 2. So attainment level in paper 1 and attainment level in paper 2 is separately calculated.
hmm.
Only problem comes when the student strength is very high, particularly in commerce departments, where we are facing the problem of students nearly 700, and the calculation becomes very rigorous.
So the last table which you showed, PO attainment calculation, is the mapping of CO with PO, right?
This is which I have highlighted now.
Yes, yes.
Aha. So these 2 tables are our final attainment tables.
Hmm. So,
Please see,
if it is,
I will show. This is 2.35, right?
Yeah.
Remember this number, right?
Hmm.
That is after all, everything. That is direct attainment, indirect, that is semester and exam, internal assessment, as well as indirect survey. What was earlier estimated? This was our estimated, right? In the beginning of the course.
Yes, sir.
So if you have, suppose the course is going for 4 years, that curriculum is not changing, this table is there for 4 years. Only if semester wise or year wise, this table will change, because the performance of the batch of the students will be changing. So in certain cases, now here, okay, I have overestimated this part. I have considered that every student of my batch will be the attainment will be maximum, because my goal was that. And what I found out is only this. That is the thing. That is what the report at the end that we have to do. That it is matched with the expected level. It is underestimated, overestimated. So these are certain formats that you may find out again.
Yeah. May I ask a question?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Dr. Deshmukh. My query is about data that we get. Autonomous colleges get it from the university, which is very basic, as well as the autonomous colleges. Being autonomous,
Can you repeat
do
the
we have the
question?
option of calculating autonomous colleges have more detailed information from the
Yes.
semester end exams?
Yes, yes.
Do
Because
we
you
still,
are
autonomous college, conducting our own
autonomous.
exams? Yes.
Yes, autonomous colleges are conducting your own exam. So you have all your detailed information with you only.
Yes, but do we still have the option of looking at total marks and calculating?
Currently, I suppose yes. Currently, yes. Because when I was going through the different SSR reports which are submitted by different autonomous colleges within Maharashtra and outside, I found
Yes.
out that they have taken as considered as a total percentage of the students instead of going for this micro analysis. Many of them are going for total strength, the total percentage.
Okay. And we
Currently.
need to check any other document whether the option is still open.
No idea, because currently we have no other guidelines. But let us hope that in the new criteria
All right.
pattern of NAC, are they giving us any guidelines about point number 2.6.2, 2.6.3, and 2.7.3 and 2.7.4?
All right. All right.
because we are waiting for that. Otherwise, their QLM is very straightforward. They are not distinctly mentioning what they are expecting. So many of us are calculating in detail, but as a whole, they want the overall result analysis, that total students scoring this many marks and that many marks. That is what I found out QLM in 2.7.3.
Yes, sir. So we are also awaiting your explanation for the gap analysis.
Yes,
So
yes.
we get complete data for each batch.
Yes, I will definitely do, ma'am. But currently, I am also given a election duty, so
Oh, yes.
not possible before 22nd.
Yes, we will rely on Rizvi College of Education and the team. And I know that we
Yes,
will say thank you very soon, but thank you, sir.
yeah,
Thank
yeah. We will definitely plan out
Yes.
something.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. With that request, we will plan for a session. Maybe we'll have a review of the whole thing and then the more detailed part of it, where
Yes.
we'll get a better clarity of things.
We are much obliged to you, Dr. Spotty, and your team, and Miss Nahida also.
Thank you
Most
so much.
welcome, ma'am. Thank you for
And
participating with us.
thank you, Andrea, ma'am. We're really happy to have Dr. Andrea Coutinho, the principal of St. Xavier's College of Institute of Education. We also have on board with us the principal of Thakur Shyamnarayan College of Education and Research, Dr. Megha Kuke. So thank you so much for joining this session. And can we proceed with more questions and also suggestions as given by Dr. Andrea Coutinho? We will definitely work on those lines as well. So are there any more questions?
As it is not there, Naidana, but we would really thanks to you as well as Miss Rizvi College as well as both the resource persons for the detailed information given because it's really very important session and detailed information given by Dr. Deshmukh as well as another sir. So really we are looking forward for the gap and gap session also in the future. So Spotty ma'am and the whole Rizvi team, thank you so much for this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Megha ma'am. So if there are no more questions, then we'll move ahead to the next part. Okay.
Can I sum up something
Yes, Dr. Prahad.
before coming to the conclusion? First of all, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity. On behalf of sir and myself, I'm thankful to the Rizvi College of Education and all the participants. Basically, I want to say I'm going to give you some idea that how it happens. Recently, we had gone for our NAC accreditation, and for that purpose, we have done this COPO attainment. And in the discussion, this Rizvi College of Education people, Naida Madam, Potter Madam, came to know that we have done. And the in the beginning, we were thinking that we have to explain this to our B.Ed college, sister concern. Then principal of the Rizvi College of Education and IQC coordinator, they thought that if we are going for this exercise, why not for other B.Ed colleges? And then this whole thing started, and we came to this conclusion. Initially, our motto was to give the idea how we can calculate attainment for semester end exam, and then slowly we moved up to the gap analysis, though we have not done it. So many things are there to discuss because we have taken one example and accordingly we came up to the end. But there are so many things. First of all, just I want to sum up in short that NAC is expecting the analysis of COPO attainment, but they have not given any complete idea. Second thing, they are not expecting all these figures there. What they are expecting, the qualitative metrics, where we have to explain that how we are measuring the COPO attainment and then what measures we are taking to rectify whatever the lacuna we are getting in our system. That's so whenever we come, if time permits and you all are interested, we can discuss on this, that how we can frame or construct our own system rather than whatever we are discussing today. That's it. So I hope we will have uh, feedback from you all, because we are talking continuously about evaluation, assessment, and attainment. So we will also be happy from your feedback, so we can also judge the attainment level for today's session. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Definitely, we are taking a feedback about the session. And as Parhad sir has mentioned, initially we started with a discussion for only the college teacher, our college teachers, and then Naida ma'am suggested that we go ahead for all the B.Ed college teachers. So that's how this program was actually planned. And again, when the planning was going on, Parhad sir had said that we will do only the basics. We don't go into the micro level of the mapping. But as I think we had a before the event, we had a discussion with the participants where the request came up. So I think it's based on that Parhad sir and Dr. Deshmukh sir, both of you have gone a little bit into the detail about the micro analysis also. So thank you, Dr. Parhad and Dr. Deshmukh, for accepting our request and coming over and giving your time and expertise and giving a detailed explanation. Maybe all of us have not understood it to the perfect level. So probably we'll have one more session, which might give a bit of clarity. And as per the request, the remaining part, the gap analysis part also, we can schedule in the next part of the session. So thank you.
Near to the conclusion of this insightful event, I would like to invite Dr. Priyanka Pandey to extend our gratitude to all those who have contributed to making today's program a success. Her words of appreciation will serve as a fitting conclusion to our gathering. Over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, you're on mute.
Hello. Yes, thank you, Arzina. Now am I audible?
Yes.
So thank you. As we conclude our faculty development program, I, Dr. Priyanka Pandey, pleased to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all those who have contributed to its success. I would like to begin my thanking to our President, Dr. Akhtar Hassan Rizvi sir, and our Director, Madam Advocate Mrs. Rubina Akhtar Rizvi ma'am, for their dedicated support and visionary leadership in organizing this enriching initiative. A special thanks to our esteemed principal, Dr. Spotty Karthik Madam, whose guidance and encouragement have been pivotal throughout this program. Now, mapping the COs, POs, and PSOs for outcome-based education in B.Ed is very crucial. And the IQAC cell of Rizvi College of Education is leading that initiative with resource person like Parhad sir and Deshmukh sir. This session will undoubtedly assist us greatly in the preparation of AQR and SSR process. I'm very grateful to the Dr. Dattatraya Parhad sir, and Mr. Vishwas Deshmukh sir, for being expert in the field of physics and maths. So you shared your valuable expertise and insights about mapping and attainment of PO-PSO-CO for outcome-based education in B.Ed. So your contribution have greatly illuminated our discussions and have been integral to our professional development. Our appreciation extends to Mrs. Nahida Mandviwala ma'am, our delegate IQAC coordinator, whose meticulous planning and coordination were crucial in ensuring the seamless execution of this program. To our dedicated staff member, Dr. Gyan Prakash Arya sir, Mrs. Jyoti Bhatia, Dr. Shweta Srivastav, and Mrs. Himangi Joglekar madam, thank you for your hard work and unwavering support. Your dedication is a keystone of our institution's success. Finally, I extend my deepest appreciation to all the respected participants from various renowned institutions of education. Also, thank you to my dear students who continuously working with us. Your active engagement and enthusiasm have not only made this program worthwhile, but have also enriched our collective learning experience. Your commitment of furthering your professional expertise is truly inspiring. May the knowledge and insights gained from this program inspire us all in our continued pursuit of academic excellence and innovation. Thank you once again for your invaluable participation and support. Thank you, Azina. Thank you, everyone. Over to you, Azina.
Thank you, ma'am.